gentlemen, spam those H's. We got less than 2.5 hours before the NFL trade deadline passes. Let me know. Are you ready to rock and roll for the next 2.5 hours? And guys, it has been an insane past 45 minutes. I actually was going to do my live at noon. I was going to go live 3 hours before the deadline, but I mean, the amount of stuff that's already happened is insane. And WTX Hobby, you're 100% right. The Texans so far as quiet as a house, as a church mouse, because I don't know if Caserio is going to make a move. I don't know if he's going to do anything today, but the rest of the AFC South, they've already made some moves. Let's break down some of the trades that we've already seen go down during this trade deadline. First up, I made a video about this right after it happened, and I'm kind of upset because I was like, damn, right after I put out the video, the Colts went and made a move. But let me know, who won this trade? J for the Jaguars, R for the Raiders. Who do you think won this trade right here? This was one of the first trades to go down this morning. Obviously, the Cowboys got it kicked off with that Logan Wilson trade. Let me know, though, who wins this trade. As let me get my my fan rocking and rolling. It's getting a little hot in here because things are heating up at the trade deadline. I see Grayson says J. Jacker says Raiders. Noah says both sides. Houston Texans fan is going with the Raiders. Javier R. Paisano says no idea. That's okay. Let me know down in the comment section who won this trade. And in a second, we're going to get to the most recent trade with the Indianapolis Colts, because I think that trade, I mean, that shows that the Colts are ready in win now mode. But the big question is going to be, will Jakobi Meyers be ready by this Sunday? Reminder, the Texans, they play the Jags at home week 10 this Sunday, noon Central Time. I'll be live. I'll be there breaking it all down for you. But that's the big question. Will Jakobi Meyers be ready for this game? Hopefully not. Yeah, we'll have to see. But obviously the trade that everybody wants to talk about, this one right here, the Colts getting Sauce Gardner in exchange for 2 first-round picks and Adonai Mitchell, A.D. Mitchell, the former Texas Longhorn. Y'all let me know in the comments section on this one. Who won the trade? C for the Colts, J for the Jets. I see what the Colts are doing here. They want to go all in. They're the number 1 team in the AFC right now in terms of the playoff picture. But I think this is a little bit of a pricey trade for Indianapolis. 2 firsts and A.D. Mitchell for Sauce. Is Sauce Gardner worth 2 firsts? I don't know, Jim. Let me know. I see a lot of people going with Jets. Alberto saying the Colts. Jets from Juan Perez, Kenneth McGregor as well. If you could, we got 150 people in our live chat right now. Go down and hit that thumbs up icon. Like today's video if you could. Help me out real quick, because the more likes we get, the more people we get in here, and hopefully the more Caserio notices us and maybe makes a move. Dude, I think this is too much. I think this is a little bit too much for Sauce Gardner, in my opinion. But let's see what the live chat's saying. Noah says both sides benefit. Jets for sure. Sauce overrated. Jets criminally undersubbed. I sadly think the Texans gave up on the season from Shadow SB. I don't know if that's the case. We'll have to see what moves they do or don't make. Let's see. Jets fleece the Colts. Yeah, this is a tough one. Who would you trade for, Jeremy, from Casey? I would personally want to trade for an offensive lineman. I wouldn't mind an Evan Neal for a 7th-round pick, a project guy, a former Alabama player. It's not the sexy move, and it's not the move that everybody wants in the chat. Jackson Powers Johnson would be my dream move if I was able to get somebody who, possibly could get traded. I would want the Raiders center guard Jackson Powers-Johnson. I think the Texans, can we all agree the Texans are little wusses up front? The interior of our offensive line, Laken Tomlinson, Juice Scruggs, Jake Andrews. You can't get a yard. They were at the 1 yard line, 2 yard line twice up against the Broncos, could not punch it in. I want some men who are ready to move bodies up front. And we don't have that with Jake Andrews. We don't have that with Laken Tomlinson. And we do not have that with Juice Scruggs at this moment. Before I break down all the other trades that happened today, quick word from our sponsor, Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app out there. Get started today with our friends over at Prize Picks. The hard-hitting football action is even better with Prize Picks this season. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. It's super simple to play. All you got to do, go more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. And if you get your picks right, you could cash in big time. Available in more than 40 states, including Texas, Florida, Georgia, and California. So get started today with our friends over at Prize Picks. And right now, I know I always talk to y'all about the football season, but we are also in the midst of college basketball season. So I had one of our hoop heads, Nick Roloff, give me a college basketball lineup. This is what he went with. He's going with Purdue guard Braden Smith, more on the assist. Trey Kaufman-Renn, more on the points and rebounds. And maybe the biggest game of the night, Duke versus Texas, and you're reading that right. Cameron Boozer, the son of Carlos Boozer, making his Duke debut, him and his brother playing for the Blue Devils this year. He has them on more than 30 points and rebounds. That should be a massive game for both those programs, and you can put it in a Prize Picks lineup today. Just get started with our friends over at Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you make your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. All right, let's go through some of the other trades that have happened today. I'll keep you updated with everything going on around the NFL. Let's start with some trades that happened a little bit ago, maybe a couple days ago. Jaire Alexander going to the Philadelphia Eagles for a late round pick swap. And the Eagles, Howie Roseman, I don't want to hear anybody put Caserio and Howie Roseman in the same sentence again. I did that in the offseason. Shame on me. Throw tomatoes in the chat at me right now. I should not have done that. I led y'all astray. And I deserve go ahead, throw the tomatoes in the chat right now. Throw the tomatoes because Nick Caserio is no Howie Roseman. Boo this man. Boo this man right now. Because I told y'all that Caserio was on the same level as Howie Roseman, and I was wrong. I was wrong. I deserve it. Throw the tomatoes. Throw the tomatoes at me. Because Howie Roseman is wheeling and dealing and got Jaire Alexander. He also got Michael Carter II for, look who it is, John Metchie. The Eagles flipped John Metchie for a need in cornerback. The Texans, they instead just released C.J. Gardner-Johnson for nothing. The Eagles didn't stop there. They also went out and got an edge rusher in Jaelan Phillips from the Miami Dolphins for a 3rd-round pick. So they are going ahead and making moves happen. They are making it happen. And the Texans so far have done nothing. They've stayed pat, haven't really made a ton of moves so far. And that's kind of like the Texans' MO, Nick Caserio's MO. They don't like to make in-season moves. It's, small moves here, maybe a 7th-round pick for a guy on the, Packers back into their roster, or go and, steal somebody from another practice squad. I just don't see any sense of urgency with this team this year. I just don't, to be honest. Another trade that happened, Dre'mont Jones to the Baltimore Ravens, leaving the Tennessee Titans. So we knew the Titans were going to have a fire sale. I've talked about that plenty of times on the show before. And, I think decent move by both teams. The Ravens, they're at the same point at the Texans. They're 3-5. They're trying to scrap back to this, wild card race possibly. And I don't know, guys. I don't know if the Texans are going to make those same moves and try to make those, same decisions as well. But we'll see. Other moves that have happened, like I said, the first one that happened today was the Cowboys getting Logan Wilson, a move that Jerry Jones alluded to actually before the Monday Night Football game last night, where he was saying, we've got a trade in the works. We're making a move already. It was for Logan Wilson, the Bengals linebacker. Decent move by the Cowboys, only a 7th-round pick in return for that one. Some other moves that have happened today. Rashid Shaheed, the Saints speedster, going to the Seattle Seahawks, adding to that, lethal attack. You now have Jackson Smith and Jigba on one side. You get Rashid Shaheed on the other. I love this trade for Seattle. I like what they have, and just every time I see Seattle play, every time I see this offense, it hurts me inside because I wanted Clint Kubiak. I wanted him as the Texans OC. I know, revisionist history, the two guys I wanted, Clint Kubiak, good. Chip Kelly, not so much. But let's focus on the one that I got right, Clint Kubiak. I wanted Clint Kubiak with the Texans so bad, and they didn't seem to have that much interest. I am connected with the Kubiak family. My stepdad, he is cousins with Clint Kubiak, and from what I heard, the Texans really didn't have any interest in Clint Kubiak, which is wild to me considering Gary Kubiak, his tenure with the Texans, how successful he was, and how successful Clint Kubiak's been everywhere that he's gone. Texans didn't show any interest whatsoever. So it is what it is. So this move with the Seahawks, their offense gets another huge weapon. And then the latest trade to go down the pipeline, the Bears getting an edge rusher. I thought the Texans, if they were going to send a guy away, it might have been to the Chicago Bears because they were looking at edge rushers hard. And the Texans, they have plenty of those on their roster. Darrell Taylor has been mentioned in a lot of trade discussion. Dylan Horton has been mentioned in trade discussion as well. Danico Autry, a couple other guys. So we'll have to see if the Texans make any moves. All right, how this show's going to work, and I need y'all's help a little bit. Let's get the questions flowing. Hashtag Texans or Super Chat to get on the show. If you want to say anything around the Texans, anything around the trades that have happened, give me your opinion or just ask a question. You can do so right now by just using hashtag Texans or Super Chat. If you've joined us for our live shows on Wednesday, which, reminder, I will be going live tomorrow, 3:30 Central Time, to break down the Jaguars preview, do a mailbag, and talk everything Houston Texans. Let me know. Hashtag Texans, or you can Super Chat to get on the show. And I'm actually really excited to show y'all what I have in store for everybody, because I have a new raffle item for the month of November, and I think y'all are going to like it. I think y'all are going to like it. So get those hashtag Texans in. Get those Super Chats in. Before I tell you what our November raffle item is, who's your favorite Texans player all time? Let me know down in the chat. Who is your favorite Texans player all time? Let me know down below in the comments section, because I'm happy if I think a certain player is pretty popular. I see Andre Johnson in there. Could be something with Andre Johnson. JJ Easy, Brian Cushing, Andre Johnson. I see a lot of Andre Johnsons. JJ. Jaelan Strong is wild. I was a Jaelan Strong believer for a little bit as well. Brian Cushing, Will Anderson Jr., JJ Watt, Brian Cushing, Cushing Easy, Will Fuller, Andre Johnson, Cushing, Arian Foster from Alberto Serrato as well. Is it something Arian Foster? JJ Watt, Brandon Cooks, come on, JJ O'Brien. Mario Williams from Alberto Serrato is a decent name as well. Reminder, everything going down on the trade deadline, we're breaking it down here on the channel. Hashtag Texans or Super Chat to get on the show. But because, I have members of my family who have served, and I want to thank every single person that has served for this country. If you've served in any capacity, I appreciate you to the moon and back. So this is going to be our month-long raffle in the month of November. It is the Salute to Service J.J. Watt autographed poster, JSA certified, so you know it's legit. This is going to be our month-long raffle for the month of November. And For all of our servicemen and women out there, I have a special deal for all of you. Hit me up on X at Jeremy Chugs, and all you got to do is send me a photo of you in either your military, uniform, anything that kind of shows me that you served for this country, and I'm going to give you a free ticket in the month of November. I want to thank each and every single person out there that has served this country, even if you're a family member of somebody who served this country, because it kind of goes both ways. I have had people in my life who have served this country, and, the family members, they feel it as well. So if you have served this country, send me a message at Jeremy Chugs on X. You're getting a free raffle entry in the month of November for this J.J. Watt autographed picture. It's the Salute to Service one. He's carrying the American flag. He has the Salute to Service captain patch on. So if you want to get in, you can send me that if you were a service member, or if you want to get in on the raffle all during the month of November, it is going to be a $10 super chat to get in for a raffle ticket. $10 super chat to get in for a raffle ticket in the month of November. And like I said, also, if you serve this country, you'll be able to get in as well. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to our military. And, I know everybody is a big fan of J.J. Watt. He's one of my favorite players all time, too. So if you want to get in during the month of November, like I said, you can either send in a $10 super chat or hit me up on X at Jeremy Chugs. Send me those. I'll put my X account in the chat as well. If you want to hit me up, you can do so. And, just send me a photo, and you'll be getting a free raffle ticket. All righty, here we go. So let's look at some of the questions that have been rolling in so far. First one coming in from Mr. Silver. He says, why aren't we making any moves to replace Laken Tomlinson? Good question. Why are we still rotating in our left guard? Like, the fact that we don't have a full-time starter at the left guard spot is absolutely infuriating to me. And the fact that, one thing, I played offensive line in high school. And something that is big at that position is continuity. You got to be able to trust the guy to your left, the guy to your right. The Texans don't have that. It's a revolving door at left guard, and I feel like once one person gets going, once Juice Scruggs gets going, they yank him and they pull him out. Laken Tomlinson, the same thing. They're not able to catch that rhythm. They're not able to get that continuity with Ariante Ursery to their left, Jake Andrews to their right. Rotating guards is sorry, I'm not going to cuss. It is so idiotic. It is so dumb. And I have no clue why the Texans feel like they keep on needing to do that. And what pisses me off is obviously they have a big need at left guard. They wouldn't be rotating the guards in if they felt comfortable with either of those guys starting. Will Nick Caserio do something about that? Will he make a move for a guard? I don't think so. I really don't think so. We are at 69 likes so far. Nice. If you could, like today's video and hit that thumbs up icon. Let's get to 100 likes. Once we get to 100 likes, I'm going to give away some free entries for the J.J. Watt autograph. I'm going to give some free entries for the J.J. Watt autograph, which actually, let me just put another M there. There we go. Looks less weird. And, yeah, Jake Andrews was getting his ass whooped this past week up against the Broncos. Zach Allen was eating his lunch. I don't know why. Well, I do know why they keep on going back to Jake Andrews, because he's buddy-buddy with Cole Popovich. But, hey, it's the Houston Texans buddy system. If you are friends with Nick Caserio, or if you're friends of friends with somebody with Nick Caserio, you're good. You're good. If you played for the New England Patriots, or you at some time coached with the New England Patriots, Nick Caserio, he's your best buddy. So that's just how it is. It is frustrating. Mr. Silver, thank you for the comment. Make sure, hashtag Texans, or you can super chat to get in or get on today's show. I need y'all's help to get this show rolling, get it rocking and rolling. So make sure you get those questions in, hashtag Texans. Also, like the video. Like I said, 100 likes, we're giving away a free raffle entry. Grayson says, hashtag Texans, why are we going a QB sneak on the third but not on the 1 yard line? I mean, This is the $1 million question. This is the $1 million question. You have your backup quarterback, Davis Mills. You're at around the 2-3 yard line and you go for a QB sneak. You had 3 plays at the 1 yard line in that first drive that they got down into the red zone. No QB sneaks. It was hand off to Nick Chubb up the middle. Hand off to British Brooks. Hand off to British Brooks. And that is one of the big reasons why Texans fans, me included, are all, up in arms saying we need to trade for an offensive lineman. We need to get some help. We should have probably done it in the offseason. But will Nick Caserio listen? Probably not, because he's the smartest guy in the room. Nick Caserio is the smartest guy in the room. Don't tell him any otherwise, because then he will scold you. But for sure, Nick Caserio is the smartest guy in the room, 1,000%. Mr. Kelder, Texans have the Wendy's O-line. Where's the beef? Casey, thank you for your question, Grayson. Casey, is GM Nick and or getting fired? I mean, maybe you mean the OC, Nick Caley? That's a good question. I mean, I think it depends on how the Texans end this season, right? Like, if they don't make a move here, if they don't do anything, and CJ Stroud continuously is getting, rushed, if the offense doesn't look good, I think a move has to be made at some level, whether it is Nick Caserio, whether it is, somebody else on this staff. It's not going to be DeMeco Ryans. DeMeco Ryans isn't going anywhere. I'll put my word on that DeMeco Ryans will not go anywhere this offseason. He will be the head coach for week 1 of the 2026 NFL season for your Houston Texans. Nick Caserio, Nick Caley, the Knicks of Houston. I don't know. Miggy Camacho rolling in with the super chat. There we go. There we go. Appreciate the question, Casey. Like I said, keep those questions rolling. Hashtag Texans. We are 9 likes away. 9 likes away from 100 likes, and we're giving away a free raffle ticket for the J.J. Watt signed poster. We actually don't have anybody in for the raffle so far, so you get a free ticket. Right now, you'd be the only person in the raffle, and you would just win a free J.J. Watt poster. Autographed, JSA certified. Gordon says, sign J.J. Watt. I've let that shit pass. I was so hopeful that maybe J.J. Watt would make a return. But with everything going on in his personal life, with, him calling games, with him owning a soccer team and, everything going on with his family life, not anything bad, but just wanted to be a father more, I don't think there's any possibility. And also, JJ's lost a lot of weight. He'd have to put on more weight. He'd have to get back in the weight room ASAP if he wanted to be a member of the Houston Texans. Should have never fired Slowick from Benjamin. Let me know down in the chat. Should the Texans have kept Bobby Slowick? Why, if you think the Texans should have kept Bobby Slowick, and if you think it was the right move to fire him, let me know down in the comment section. Why, yes or no? Why for yes and for no? Should the Texans have kept Bobby Slowick? Let me know down in the comment section. As Miggy Camacho cheers, Chugs, real one for life. Wanted to show love. Trade for O-line. I'm hoping so. And our Chat Sports crew put together some guys that are on the trade block for each position. Let's look at offensive line. Here we go. Where are we at? There we go. Here's offensive linemen that they think could be traded at the trade deadline. And you can let me know in the chat which one of these guys you would be interested in. Because I have some clear favorites, but I want to hear from you. Here are the NFL trade candidates at the offensive line spot per our guys here at Chat Sports. Braxton Jones, offensive tackle for the Bears. Evan Neal, offensive lineman. He's a guard tackle kind of hybrid now at this point for the New York Giants. Also, 2 Browns players, Ethan Posich and Wyatt Teller. Also, I've heard Joel Bitonio as well. Kevin Zeitler, Jackson Powers Johnson, Cesar Ruiz, Dylan Radins. Let me know down in the chat. Out of these guys, who would you want the Texans to trade for? For me, I've been saying Jackson Powers Johnson. He would help out the Texans tremendously at the center spot. I think the biggest weakness that the Texans have right now is at center and being able to run the football. So I think JPJ would fit in nicely with this Texans team. He's maybe not as, polished of a pass protector, but if that means you get more running lanes, if that means you can actually run the ball, I'm for it. Let me know down in the comment section, though, which of these guys you would want the Texans to trade for, as we do have another super chat rolling in from Ernesto. And he said the Colts are the favorites. And, I mean, they should be, right? The Colts made a massive move, and let's look at the AFC playoff picture as we stand right now. The Colts, deservedly so, should be making moves, because right now, if the season ended, the Colts would be the number 1 seed in the AFC, followed by the Patriots, the Broncos, the Steelers, and then the wild card right now, as we stand, it's the Bills, Chargers, and Jags, followed by the Chiefs, and then the Texans and Ravens are sitting there behind them. So, the Colts, this is a move saying we're going for a Super Bowl this season. You don't spend 2 first-round picks on a shutdown corner to not try to make a Super Bowl run. So, very interested to see what they do the rest of this season. Remember, the Texans, they still have to face the Colts twice. They still have to face the Colts twice this season. Dylan in with the question, hashtag Texans, do you think, thank you. Hashtag Texans, do you think Sting and Lassiter will be the best CB duo? I think so. I mean, Lassiter has played well. I think Sting, a little bit down from his year last year, but I still think he is one of the top corners in the NFL. I think definitely they have a – I'd have to look at all the cornerback duos in the NFL, but I think they definitely have a argument to be one of the top cornerback duos in the National Football League. Thank you for your question, Dylan. Ernesto, Colts are favorites, and I have no faith in the Texans. Like I said, Colts making Super Bowl aspiration-type moves, while the Texans, Nick Caserio, twiddling those thumbs. Just twiddling those thumbs. I know we want the Texans to do something, help out C.J. Stroud if possible. I want an offensive lineman so bad. And it's frustrating because you have Jaden Higgins, you have Jaelan Noel, 2 wide receivers you took in the 2nd and 3rd round. I like those players. I think they're good players. But you're not even using them. You spent a 3rd-round pick on Jaelan Noel. Do you know how many offensive snaps he had up against the Broncos on offense? 11. Wasted. We're wasting them. And we could have beefed up our interior offensive line. We could have gotten some help. Could have done more. And they were just content with, standing pat, which is definitely upsetting. All right. We did hit 100 likes, so this is what I'm going to do. Spam those H's. Like the video and spam those H's. I'm going to give away a couple free raffle tickets. All you got to do is like the video and spam H if you want a free raffle ticket. I'm giving a couple away right now. Logan Grosel, I'll give you a free raffle ticket. You're the first person in for our J.J. Watt autograph raffle. Let's see. Who else wants a free raffle ticket? Like the video and spam those H's. I see. Let's see. Who else wants a free one? I'm going to go with condition-based. I'm going to go with Senior Larry. And I'll give one more away. Like the video and spam H. Like the video and spam those H's. Let's see. I'll close my eyes and just look up here in just one moment. All right. Bree ones. I'm giving one to Bree ones as well. Congratulations, Logan Grosel, condition-based, Senior Larry, and Bree ones. Y'all all got a free raffle ticket for the J.J. Watt autographed picture. Oh, wow. Is that? Oh, it's right here. Perfect. All right, well, I guess we're watching the herd. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Let me know. Jonathan Hyatt sending in the super chat. We talked about the Colts. This is a Super Bowl move by the Indianapolis Colts. I don't necessarily think they're the team to beat, though, yet in the AFC. Let me know. Who's the team to beat in the AFC? Is it the Colts? I would still say it's the Kansas City Chiefs. I would take the Buffalo Bills over the Colts as well. Let me know. If the playoffs started today, which team would you least want to face in the AFC? Honestly, I mean, the Colts are having a great year. They're still not at the level as the Chiefs. They're still not at the same level as the Buffalo Bills, in my opinion. I think those two teams are still by far and ahead the Indianapolis Colts, in my opinion, in the AFC. But let me know. Who do you think is the team to beat in the AFC? Jacker says the Broncos. I mean, Texans almost beat them this past week. The refs from WTX Hobby. That's a good one. JBJ says the Chiefs. Bills are running through the playoffs. Said Miles in that cognac. Moses says the Chiefs. Let me know down in the comment section who's the team to beat in the AFC. The Patriots only have 2 losses. And crazy enough, one of those losses that the Patriots have to the Las Vegas Raiders. Super chats coming in from Jonathan Hyatt and Tay. We'll get to those in just a moment. And I know, you know what? I said $10 to get in the J.J. Watt raffle. But we just got 2 $5 super chats. So first live of the month that I'm giving this deal. So I'll go ahead and change it to $5. $5 to get in the J.J. Watt raffle. Jonathan Hyatt and Tay super chatting. So I want to make sure that y'all get some raffle tickets too. So if you want to get in on the J.J. Watt autograph raffle, I'll do it for $5 super chats during today's show. And then we'll go back to 10 during our watch party this weekend. I'll get to those super chats in just a moment, but got to quickly tell you once again about the sponsor of today's program, and that is Prize Picks. Get started today with America's #1 daily fantasy sports app out there. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. The hard-hitting football action is even better with Prize Picks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. It's super simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you can cash in and win up to 2,000 times your money. Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Prize Picks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. And not only football, but also basketball, college basketball on tonight. And I had one of our hoop heads here at Chat Sports, Nick Roloff, put me a nice little college basketball lineup for tonight's game. Braden Smith for Purdue, 6.5 assists. He's going the more on that. Trey Kaufman-Wren, 27.5 points and rebounds combined. He's going the more on that as well. And then the main show of tonight, Duke, the Blue Devils taking on Texas, the Longhorns. And you read that right. That's Cameron Boozer, son of Carlos Boozer, making his debut for the Blue Devils. Him and his brother playing for Duke this season. He has the more on Cameron Boozer points and rebounds in tonight's game. You can use this lineup or go make your own Just do it with our friends over at Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. All right. So far, no more trades have come in after that Bears trade for a defensive end. Like I said, I'll keep you updated with everything going on with this team. Jonathan Hyatt, you are in for our J.J. Watt raffle. WTX Hobby Chugs, I'm a sports card dealer. I will donate some nice Texans autograph cards for future raffles. You know what, WTX? I actually love that idea. If you could, WTX, hit me up on X at Jeremy Chugs. I'll put the link to my X account in the chat. If you can help me out, I mean, I'm always down, and I'd definitely be willing to, give you some free raffle tickets for our J.J. Watt autograph picture as well in exchange for some help with some future raffles. I'm always down for that, so I appreciate that. Jonathan Hyatt, though, what the heck do we have Trent Brown for? Trade him. Must be eating the malnourished O-line's food, or put him in. Get Fisher back on tight end jumbo set. And the Texans, they were working a lot with that jumbo set, and it was actually working out so far. Like, whenever they were doing that in the first half, it was working up against this Broncos defense. They were able to move the ball down the field. Now, once they got to the 1 yard line, obviously that's where the problems ensued. But the jumbo package was working. But the problem happened when Titus Howard went out with the concussion. Blake Fisher then had to go to that right tackle spot. Ed Ingram then got injured with that knee injury. Then you end up putting Laken Tomlinson to right guard. I believe it was Laken Tomlinson to right guard. Juice Scruggs to left guard. So then you didn't really have the jumbo package anymore. And I think they specifically had it for Blake Fisher. And I don't know if they ran it in practice with Trent Brown, to be honest. I don't know if they did. I don't think they did. But once the injury happened to Titus Howard, that was the end of the jumbo package for the Texans in Week 9 up against the Broncos, which was very upsetting because they were definitely able to move the ball a little bit more when they had 6 offensive linemen in the game. Trent Brown, though, I don't know. He's coming off an injury that, made him miss basically the entire 2024-2025 NFL season. And they've been slow playing him back in. And he's been a healthy scratch for, I want to say, maybe the past 2 or 3 weeks since he's been activated. I have no clue what they want with Trent Brown. But like I said, if you played for the New England Patriots at some point, Nick Caserio's got you. Nick Caserio loves you if you played for the New England Patriots. And luckily enough for Trent Brown, he played for the New England Patriots. So congrats to Trent Brown getting that old Patriots money from Nick Caserio. Can we round of applause for Trent Brown getting that money from Nick Caserio? Round of applause for him. Congrats, Trent Brown, because like I said, you got the Texans buddy system with Nick Caserio, so you're all good there, Trent Brown. Thank you for the super chat from Mr. Hyatt, Mr. Jonathan Hyatt. Tay, up next on the channel. Caserio doesn't want to see this franchise do well. I don't agree with that. I think Caserio he has the smartest man in the room syndrome. And we all know somebody who's like that when no matter what you say, no matter what you do, he goes, well, trust me. Actually, I've been in this situation before, and trust me, I know what I'm talking about. You have no clue. That's how I feel Nick Caserio is in every single press conference. He is the smartest man in the room. Mike Nintendo Master, how we doing? And he thinks he's smarter than everybody else. I don't believe that he doesn't want the franchise to do well. I think he does want the Texans to win because that would prove to himself that he is the smartest man in the room. He just is allergic to outside suggestions, outside help, and that's going to be his downfall, unfortunately, is because it was so telling that the Texans, they held an event this offseason for season ticket holders. It was, I forgot what the exact name of it was. It was like the Houston fan something. But basically, Nick Caserio and D'Amico Ryans were taking questions from season ticket holders, from fans, and he got the question, what about the offensive line? Like, what are we going to do? And he laughed at that fan. He said, we know what we're doing with the offensive line. Don't you worry. I think we got it handled as, a seasoned veteran NFL GM and head coach. He was laughing at our faces when we said the offensive line wasn't going to improve this year. We needed to do more. Nick Caserio, once again, smartest man in the room. He never makes a good trade before the deadline and then brings in subpar talent in the offseason. I mean, the biggest move he made was trading for C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and he was cut by week 3. Luis Torres moved. Much love from San Marcos, Texas. Jugs, appreciate your updates and hard work. Hey, thank y'all to everybody in the chat. Appreciate everybody for rocking and rolling with us. I mean, I don't know if in the offseason he brings in subpar talent because, he has made a couple good moves here and there. But in season, he is deathly afraid. As much as somebody who likes to tout that, I wheel and deal during the NFL draft, I'm not afraid to make a move. Nick Caserio shrivels in his boots during this regular season, and he is allergic to making in-season moves, which is definitely infuriating when you have obvious holes on this Texans team. Left guard, maybe running back as well. Condition-based in for our J.J. Watt autograph raffle. Can we trade the OC for spat tape and mouthpieces? That's hilarious. That's good. I've said it multiple times that the problem lies that even if you got rid of Nick Caley at this point, which, I've been more than my share of frustrated with the Texans offensive coordinator this year, it's not going to change in season because you can't bring in a new OC. If Caley gets fired, it's either going to be one of a couple guys that are going to step up and be the OC. It's going to be somebody that the Texans already have. It's going to be Gerard Johnson, the quarterback coach. Probably going to be either him, maybe Ben McDaniels, the wide receiver coach, brother of Josh McDaniels for, you guessed it, the New England Patriots. I think it would want to be one of those guys if Nick Caley is fired. And, it would be the same offense that the Texans are running right now. It would just be a different play caller. He would have control over what the Texans, what plays they call, but it wouldn't be an entirely different offense. That's why you have the offseason. That's why you have minicamp. That's why you have training camp, preseason, to install your offense, install the plays that you want to run. They're not going to bring in an outside offensive coordinator, unfortunately, because I know everybody's talking about, Mike McDaniel with the Dolphins. He might get, canned. Zach Taylor with the Bengals. He might get canned as well. And say, hey, why don't we bring those guys in to be the Texans OC? Not going to happen in season. This offseason, possibly. But also, two offensive coordinators in 2 years, not a good look. But, of course, they weren't interested in Clint Kubiak. So, Gerald says, bro, what is going on in New York? They clean in house. I was shocked. Oh, my goodness, you're not wrong. I'm just now seeing this trade roll in. Sorry, I was reading the comment section. Another massive trade for the Dallas Cowboys. Quinnen Williams of the New York Jets going to the Dallas Cowboys. Holy crap, Jerry Jones was not kidding that he was going to make moves. Oh my goodness. Can we get a Breece Hall? I don't know. The Jets are fire sailing right now. The Jets are absolutely fire sailing right now. Quinnen Williams goes to the Dallas Cowboys from the New York Jets for a future first-round pick and a 2026 second-round pick. Who wins the deal here? Type C for the Cowboys, J for the Jets. Shout out to the chat 100% from Ernesto. Wow. I'm glad somebody said something about the Jets fire sale. Oh my goodness. Who wins this deal? Is it the Dallas Cowboys type C or is it the New York Jets type J? That is massive. Quinnen Williams One of the best young defensive tackles in the National Football League. Wow. Wow is all I can say. Wow, wow, wow. We didn't think that this trade deadline could get even crazier. The Jets, they are making it rain, saying, hey, we are ready to full-on fire sale. We are giving everybody away. Sauce Gardner, Quinnen Williams, Breece Hall to the Texans, maybe. I see Jay for the Jets from Life of Lou. Senior Larry says Jets now have a bunch of first-round capital. They got 2 first-rounders from the Indianapolis Colts. Now they get another first-rounder from the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I do have to tell you, I do have to remind you, the Dallas Cowboys did have extra picks from that Micah Parsons deal. Mike Tucker, I don't think the Texans would trade for Garrett Wilson. They already got 2 wide receivers in the draft this year. Jaden Higgins, Jaelan Noel. You have Nico Collins. And Garrett Wilson would be electric, but I don't think the Texans, I would be mad if the Texans spent a first or second round pick on a wide receiver when you still have a shitty offensive line. I would be furious. Life of Jaden said Jay for the Jets. I'm seeing all Jets. Can I be a contrarian for a second? I think the Cowboys win this deal. I mean, the Jets, they obviously get trade compensation. They definitely get more draft capital. The Cowboys, though, immediately make their interior defensive line one of the best in the NFL. They already got Kenny Clark from the Green Bay Packers. You add in Quinnen Williams. They have Osa Odighizuwa as well. Call me crazy. I think the Cowboys win this trade. Jerry said, we got embarrassed on Monday Night Football where nobody could watch because YouTube TV and ESPN are being a bunch of little bees. They got embarrassed by the Arizona Cardinals last night, and he said, we are going to make moves now. Wow. This is what I thought the Cowboys were going to do when they said we're going all in last offseason. They're going all in right now. Houston Texans fan said Higgins and a second-round pick for Garrett. I mean, if it was Higgins and a second for Garrett, I actually kind of like that. I don't know. It still doesn't fix your issue, though. Like, you're still not able to run the ball and you don't have good offensive linemen. Like, John McClane's Chains. Great name. John McClane's Chains. I agree, man. I agree, but decent trade idea there. Wow. This is nuts. This is insanity. Oh my God. Let me know down below who wins this trade. Hey, Colts Sauce Gardner, Jags, Jacoby Myers, Texans, squat. Continue to let me know who won this trade. Oh no, Mozzie Smith. If it's only Mozzie Smith in a second round pick, did we have it wrong? Let's see. Okay, so this is the full details of the trade. It is Quinnen Williams, and they threw in Mozzie Smith, a 2026 second-round pick, and they threw in a 2027 first-round pick. So it is still a first-round pick, a second-round pick, Mozzie Smith for Quinnen Williams. They threw in their first-round bust in Mozzie Smith, so it's still the same deal. It's a first-round pick, a second-round pick, and Mozzie Smith for Quinnen Williams. I still like that deal for the Cowboys. Call me crazy. I think the Cowboys won that deal. Tay with another super chat rolling in. Get you up on screen right now, Tay. He says, Colts, Sauce Gardner. Jags, Jacoby Myers. Texans, diddly squat. Diddly squat. Yeah. I mean, I want the Texans to make a move. If they don't make a move, it's definitely a, not giving up on the season, but definitely you're not confident in the season whatsoever. I know you're 3-5. Yeah, this one's a tough one. Let me see if we have any more hashtag Texans questions as well rolling in. Let's see. This is a good question from Benjamin. Will CJ get a third contract after we re-sign him? What? Let's talk first. Will CJ Stroud get in a contract extension this offseason? Why for yes and for no? If you were in charge, would you go ahead and make CJ Stroud one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL? Because that's what it's going to take to extend him right now. Why for yes and for no? Would you extend CJ Stroud this offseason? I see a lot of whys. I see some no's. I would, yes. I'm a CJ Stroud truther. I think that he, even with all the crap that's going around, the bad offensive line, the carousel of offensive coordinators now with this Texans team, I still would. I don't know if he would be the absolute highest paid, but you would have to at least give him what Purdy's getting. You'd at least have to give him in that stratosphere $60 million a year and above. CJ to the moon. Wow. I can't believe the Cowboys traded, which let me get that at the bottom of the screen for y'all. Cowboys, if you're just now joining us, the Jets are on a complete fire sale. They are sending Quinnen Williams to the Dallas Cowboys for a first, a second, and Mozzie Smith. I believe in CJ Stroud. I'm a CJ Stroud truther. So I would go ahead and extend him this offseason if I'm the Texans, because the other part of it is this, guys. Say you're not fully in. Say you're like, okay, well, I want to see how it plays out. That's what happened with the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott, which I know a little bit different scenarios between those two guys, but hear me out on this. You're not fully in on CJ Stroud this offseason. Don't give him a contract extension. He plays next year and he balls out. He is breaking the record by a good margin for the highest paid quarterback of all time, if that happens. You extend him this offseason, maybe he doesn't live fully up to the contract, but you at least get him signed for the future, and then there would still be plenty of teams that would want to trade for CJ Stroud, even with a $65 million per year price tag. If you wait and he balls out next year and then try to do it the next offseason, that price skyrockets up. And let's just talk about the elephant in the room, because everybody's talking about the Jets. Everybody's talking about the trades that they've made so far today. This is the name that everybody wants to talk about, Breece Hall. Breece Hall, will he be a Houston Texan in the next hour and 34 minutes? T for trade, P for pass. Would you trade for Breece Hall for a third-round pick? That is the rumored asking price for Breece Hall, is a third-round pick. T for trade, P for pass. Would you want the Texans to make a move on Breece Hall? Because that's the question everybody wants to know. The Jets are in a fire sale mode. They traded Sauce Gardner to the Indianapolis Colts for 2 first-round picks. They traded Quinnen Williams to the Cowboys for a first and a second-round pick. T for trade, P for pass. Let me know. Mr. Blue, what do you mean you're an idiot if you think a third? That's literally what has been reported, that the Jets are asking for a day 2 pick. A second or third round pick. I'm not giving a second. I'll give a third out of those two options. So, Mr. Blue, maybe you should do some research. Pass can't block for him or the O-line can't block for him anyways. I want an offensive lineman, man. ENT, do you think CJ will be back next week? It's not up to him. It's up to the NFL. Because of all the, concussions that have happened, everything that's happened throughout the NFL over the past 10 or so years, it's not going to be up to CJ. If this was 2005, CJ would have played the rest of that Broncos game. He would have maybe been out a couple drives, but we've seen guys like Brett Favre. We've seen guys like Eli Manning, like Peyton Manning, get knocked out, get their bell rung and go back into games. Matt Schaub, we've seen him whenever he was playing for the Texans get his bell absolutely rung and go back into games. It's because the NFL has put a precedent on concussion and concussion protocol, so it's not going to be up to him. He has to pass the concussion protocol steps through NFL, and their doctors that they have set up. They're much more strict. If it was 2005, 2010, CJ would have finished that game with the Texans up against the Denver Broncos. Now we'll have to see how he progresses through the concussion protocol. I think if it was up to CJ, up to the team, he would be playing on Sunday. I think 100% he'd be ready to go. Per Ricky Scoops, Jets have another big trade coming. Is it Breece Hall to the Texans? Let me know. What do you think? Could the Texans make a move for Breece Hall? But everybody wants to know. That's what everybody wants to know. We have another super chat coming in from ENT, which said, do you think CJ will be back this week? Ernesto, I'd rather release Jimmy Ward. Haven't seen him this year. He's been on, IR, injured reserve. Let's go get Evan Neal. Jeremiah, it's not a sexy or splashy move, but I wouldn't mind that whatsoever. A former first-round pick out of Alabama who can help us at the guard spot possibly. I mean, it's a very low-risk, high-reward play for Evan Neal. I would be down for a move like that. I know Texans fans wouldn't be jumping up and down excited if the Texans made a move like that, but I wouldn't mind it. Quick reminder of our Super Chat menu on today's show. Any Super Chat gets you up on screen, or you can use hashtag Texans if you have a question. If we have time, we'll get to it. I've been putting up a bunch of questions already on today's show. $5, or if you're a serviceman or if you're a serviceman or woman, you get a free raffle ticket. All you got to do, send me a picture of you, in your military uniform, something that shows me that you served in the military. You send me a picture of you. I want to say thank you to everybody who has served this country because it is the Salute to Service month. So if you send me a picture of you serving in the military, you're going to get a free raffle ticket for the J.J. Watt autograph this month. We get to $500 in total. I will do a beer boot. That's 3 beers and 1 glass. If you want to see what it looks like, here is our November month-long raffle. JSA certified autograph picture from J.J. Watt. He's in his Salute to Service uniform. He's carrying the American flag. So if you want to get in on this raffle, you can either send me a picture on X. If you served in this country, like I said, it is Salute to Service month. So thank everybody, servicemen and women and their families. I've had a couple people in my family serve this country. You can get a free raffle ticket that way, or $5 super chat to get up on the show and get yourself a raffle ticket this month if you want a chance to win that J.J. Watt picture. Casario's job is on the line. Yeah. We'll see how the rest of the season plays out. Benjamin saying a 4th for Breece Hall. Well, we'll see. I've been saying a 4th. Senior Larry, Navy guy here, appreciate you. Here, I'll put my X account in the chat. Like I said, send me a picture of you in your military uniform or showing me something that you served, and I'll be able to get you in the raffle. Let's see. I don't think I have any pictures so far. Pierce and a 4th for Breece Hall. See, that's the thing is, Pierce doesn't give you anything in this trade, Benjamin. Nobody wants Dameon Pierce. Like, if you're trading Dameon Pierce, he's worth maybe a 7th round pick. Maybe. He's on an expiring deal, and he's been a healthy and active for the Texans for a good portion of the year. So, yeah, I don't think throwing in Dameon Pierce helps at all with this deal for the Jets. They would say, if you said to the Jets, would you rather have Dameon Pierce in a 4th or just a 3rd round pick? I think the Jets easily say, yeah, we'll just take the 3rd round pick. They don't want Dameon Pierce. We'll see. Oh! Alberto Serrato getting in 10 raffle tickets for my man for the J.J. Watt autograph picture. Alberto Serrato, let's get it, buddy. There we go. Alberto Serrato in the building. We have another super chat coming in from ENT. And you know what, ENT? Since you sent $2 super chats, I'm going to give you a raffle ticket as well, ENT, for the J.J. Watt picture. He said, I think they should kick Trent Brown to guard. He's never played guard in his career. I think young enough, maybe. Young enough, like if you're a younger player like a Evan Neal, okay, but he's been in the league for 9-10 years, has only played tackle. No, I don't see that happening. Appreciate the super chat, ENT, but I don't think that's a smart move to kick Trent Brown into guard. Alberto Serrato, chugs for OC. I don't know if y'all would love me as much as y'all do if I was play calling for the Houston Texans. I think y'all would view me similarly to Nick Caley. Maybe I would instead go for a QB sneak at the 1 instead of the 3-yard line, but hey, that's just me. Let me know, though. Mike McDaniel from the Dolphins or Zach Taylor from the Bengals? If both those guys were fired, who would you rather have? Type 1 for Mike McDaniel from the Dolphins, 2 for Zach Taylor from the Bengals. If both those guys were fired and available to be the OC for the Texans next year, who would it be? 1 for Mike McDaniel of the Dolphins, 2 for Zach Taylor from the Bengals. I'm interested to see what y'all have to say on that, Mark. Appreciate the love, Alberto. Getting in a ton of raffle tickets. So is Blaine Bellin. That's 2 raffle tickets for you, my good sir. I see Logan's going 2, Landon's going 2, Casey's going 2, a lot of Zach Taylors. 1 from Ryder Carter, 1 from Alberto Serrato, 1 from Josh. Keep them rolling. Let me know down in the comments section. Wow. If you're just now joining us, some major trades happening today. Sauce Gardner going to the Indianapolis Colts from the New York Jets in exchange for 2 first-round picks. So the Colts, they're going all in on the season. And one of the first trades that happened this morning, the Jags trading for Jacoby Myers from the Las Vegas Raiders. So moves being made in the AFC South, just not from your Houston Texans, unfortunately. 2 raffle tickets coming, though, for Blaine Balin. Blaine, if you want to use hashtag Texans and get a question, and I'll be able to get you up on screen. If you do send in a super chat, make sure you put in that hashtag Texans or put in a comment so I can, have some discourse. But Blaine, you are getting 2 raffle tickets for that. And Hector Medina is getting himself a raffle ticket as well. And he says, hashtag Texans, if Texans decide to go O-line, who do you think we should get? All right, I already showed this earlier. And actually, you know what? Before I get into all the offensive linemen that the Texans could trade for, another quick word from our sponsor over at Prize Picks today. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. The hard-hitting football action is even better with Prize Picks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Super simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you cash in and win up to 2,000 times your money today. Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. It's the best place to win cash while watching sports. Join the millions of users and sign up today. Download the Prize Picks app. Use code CLNS. to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. All right, and I promised you I'd show you that graphic of the top offensive linemen that are on the trade block right now per the crew here at Chat Sports. This is what we're looking at, guys, for a possible offensive lineman on the move before the NFL trade deadline, which we are creeping to maybe close to an hour, 20 minutes before the end of this trade deadline. Braxton Jones from the Bears is on the trade block. Same with Evan Neal, guard, tackle, former first-round pick of the New York Giants. Wyatt Teller. Also, I think Joel Bitonio should be up on this graphic as well. Both guards from the Browns. Same with Ethan Posich, who is a center for the Cleveland Browns. Kevin Zeitler, who I wanted the Texans to get in free agency this offseason, but they have not, they decided against it. They said the offensive line is good. Jackson Powers-Johnson, he is my number one player I would like the Texans to trade for if they were to make a deal. Cesar Ruiz, offensive lineman for the New Orleans Saints. And same with Dylan Radins, another former first-round pick of the New Orleans Saints. But these are 8 guys, Hector, that I definitely think the Texans could look at and consider. The top name that I think is a possibility is Evan Neal. D'Amico Ryans, Nick Caserio, they love in-season deals that they feel is a bargain. They're not going to spend big bucks. I don't think the Texans would trade a first or second round pick in season for a player. I just don't see Nick Caserio doing that. He is a bargain bin shopper during the NFL season. I think if they're going to trade for somebody, an offensive lineman, I think it would be Evan Neal. He is a former first-round pick. He is an Alabama prospect. D'Amico loves his former Alabama Crimson Tide players. And he has slid into guard before, could possibly help this Texans team as a tackle guard hybrid, and a former first-round pick. He definitely has some talent that maybe the Texans think could be untapped potential if they just get the right players in. Hey, condition-based. Let's go, condition-based, getting a free raffle ticket. Thank you for your service, condition-based. Can we spam the USAs down below for my guy? He served in Iraq, and he just sent me a picture of him serving. Shout out to you, condition-based. Dope photo. My guy, condition-based. Shout out to you. Get the USAs flowing down below. Reminder, if you served this country during the month of November, send me a picture of you serving on X, and you'll get a free raffle ticket for our J.J. Watt autograph picture. I see the USAs flowing. The USAs are a-flowing. Keep those hashtag Texans rolling in. We got one from Harrison Diggs. He's been rolling with us throughout today's live show. Hashtag Texans. What tight end should the Texans look into for the 2026 NFL Draft? I'm glad you asked this. One guy who I used to cover Texas high school football, mainly in the DFW area, while I was going to school at the University of North Texas. Shout out to my Mean Green. Possible Group of 5 playoff team this year. I don't know. I'm along for the ride, North Texas. Shout out to all my Mean Green family out there. But one guy that I covered while I was covering high school football in the DFW area, he is actually the tight end for Vanderbilt, Eli Stowers. He is a dog. And he gives you that versatility of a tight end, fullback, was a 3-year starter at quarterback in high school. He's a name I would look at and consider. Ohio State has a really good player in Max Clare. He's somebody who the Texans could look at. And I do like the kid from Houston. What's his name? Tanner Koziol. 6'7". Massive dude. Has been having a great year for the Houston Cougars. But one name that I would look at is Eli Stowers from Vanderbilt. He is a very sneaky prospect who I think would help out this Texans offense. And, the Texans, I think, definitely need some tight end help. When will we see Cade Stover's back? I don't know. We got Breece. I don't think we did. Unless I'm not seeing it. Breece Hall did just tweet out just 3 dots. All right, guys. I need y'all to help me out. Breece Hall just tweeted out 3 dots. So I'm going to put the link to my tweet in this chat. How many likes can we get on this tweet, guys? How many likes can we get on this tweet? I just tweeted this out. Like this post if you want the Texans to trade for Breece Hall. He's obviously ready to leave New York. I mean, what he's been tweeting the past 24 hours, and then he just tweets out the ellipses, 3 dots. I don't know. Go like that tweet. I just put the link in the chat if you want the Texans to trade for Breece Hall. Yeah, don't worry, though. Caserio did make a move. He re-signed Jake Hansen yesterday. So, no worries, guys. Caserio, he's on top of that. You know, he's making moves as well. He re-signed Jake Hansen yesterday. So, we're all good, guys. We're all good. We are all good. An hour and 16 minutes till the trade deadline. Will Nick Caserio make a move? That is the million-dollar question. It's on everybody's mind. Will the Texans do something at this trade deadline? Jets fire sale has been happening. Will the Texans look to possibly get in on that action? All right, here we go. All right, we are close to 200 likes on today's show. I appreciate everybody for rock and rolling during our Texans trade deadline coverage. Should we get Achane? Josh, I don't think the Dolphins are trading Achane. I think we're much more likely at this point to get a guy like Breece Hall. Let me know, though, if you want a free raffle ticket. We are 6 likes away from 200, so this is what I'm going to do. I already gave some free raffle tickets away earlier for our autographed J.J. Watt picture. Salute the service. Shout out to everybody who has served this country. Condition-based getting in his free raffle ticket already. Spam those H's if you want a free raffle ticket. All you got to do, like the video, spam H. Like the video and spam H. I'm going to go with Vetrad. Vetrad. He's been here for a while. He's been rocking and rolling. You're getting a free raffle ticket, Mr. Vetrad. Who else wants it? Let me go with Travis White has been here for a minute. Travis White is getting himself a free raffle ticket. Let's see. Who else wants a free raffle ticket? Hector Medina just got himself another raffle ticket. I'm going to go with Miles and that cognac. You're getting a free raffle ticket. And I'm going to give one more away to... Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? I'll go with Brady Sticker. Brady Sticker. And Hector Medina getting another raffle ticket, but, you know, since you just super chatted in that one while we're doing this, Hector, I'll give you 2 raffle tickets for that one. Mr. Hector Medina. Let's see what he has to say. Hashtag Texans, should we also go for a better backup quarterback? You just extended Davis Mills before this game just a couple weeks ago. You just extended him a couple weeks ago going into next year, so I don't think the Texans would trade for another backup quarterback when you already extended your guy you have. Xavier Gaines says Rico Dowdle to the Chargers. Did that just happen? I don't know. I feel like people are just throwing out trade ideas and trying to get me. We'll see. Jeffrey says we have Money Mills already. BT to GOAT. Davis Mills for 5 firsts to the Jets. Who says no? They have a lot of them now. They have a lot of first-round picks. No way Breece Hall went to the Chiefs. I would be actually upset if that happened. I would be actually upset if that happened. Ricky Scoops did say Jordan Schultz just tweeted out, breaking, Jets running back Breece Hall wants to be traded. He has told reporters he wants out. Breece Hall has told reporters that he wants out of New York. He doesn't want to play another game with the New York Jets. All I'm seeing is that he wants out. I have not seen that a trade to the Chiefs has happened. I have not seen any trade to the Chiefs happening. At this point, I'm down for it. At this point, I'm down for it if the Texans can get Breece Hall. Can we get him for a 4th? He just told Jordan Schultz he wants out of New York. Oh, it was just Mike Tannenbaum on ESPN. I would be crushed if the Chiefs traded for Breece Hall. I mean, if the Chiefs were able to get Breece Hall, man, I'd be crushed. We can't let that happen. Go get Breece Hall. Go freaking get Breece Hall, man. He wants out. And at this point, when the guy who's begging to leave, Caserio, get on the phone, bro. Casario's going to just sit on his ass all day and not do anything, but you have a top 5, top 10 running back in the NFL saying he wants out. Casario's probably twiddling his freaking thumbs right now, man. Or is he? I want the Texans to do something, man. Show us that you care about this team and show us that you're not giving up on the season. Texans tags. Oh, my goodness. All right, I'm going to get some of y'all's questions up on the screen. So use that hashtag Texans or Super Chat if you want to get your question up on the show. Hashtag Texans or Super Chat to get up on the show. You can put your question. You can just say a statement. Give me your piece of what you think. Hashtag Texans or Super Chat to get on today's program. And a quick reminder, if you do Super Chat, the deals that we have going on in today's show. Brand new raffle in the month of November. It is the J.J. Watt Salute to Service poster, autographed, JSA certified from the man himself, J.J. Watt. Every $5 Super Chat on today's show gets you another raffle ticket for this J.J. Watt autograph picture. And every 100 likes, we've been giving away more free ones. So if you just joined, make sure you hit that thumbs up icon, like today's video. And my special deal for the month of November, because I myself have had some family members that did serve in the have served in the armed forces. If you did serve this country in any capacity, whether it's National Guard, military, Navy, Air Force, whatever, hit me up on X at Jeremy Chugs. DM me a picture of you, some sort of proof that you served this country, whether that's you in your military uniform, whether that's, some other form of proof. I will give you a free raffle ticket for the J.J. Watt autograph this month. So I want to say thank you to each and every single person that did serve this country, because I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now, covering the Houston Texans, if it wasn't for our brave men and women out there doing what they do for this country. So for the month of November, during the Salute to Service month, if you did serve this country, hit me up on X at Jeremy Chug. Send me a picture. Condition Based already got in with his free ticket. He sent me a picture of himself in his military uniform. So if you want to do that as well, I'll put my Twitter in the comment section once again. If you want a free raffle ticket. And then also, if you want more raffle tickets, you can also just send in a $5 Super Chat. Every $5 you send in is another raffle ticket. And if you want to see what the raffle looks like, this is our raffle item for this month. It is the Salute to Service J.J. Watt autograph picture. Oh, wow. Nobody clipped that. My voice just absolutely went out. Oh, my God. It's been a long day. Yeah, that was a bad voice crack. I really hope nobody clips that. I'm good, Sam. Yeah, my voice, that just cracked bad. Chugs' voice has been traded to the New York Jets. Nobody clipped that. Nobody clipped that. All right. I'm going to be... Okay. All right. Let's get back into the swing of things. Let's talk about the trade deadline and everything that's going on. Jets fire sale going on right now. Hashtag Texans or Super Chat to get on the show. Oh my God, I can't believe my voice just cracked that bad. I actually can't believe my voice just cracked that bad. Oh my God. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get some of y'all's questions, some of y'all's comments up on the show. So like I said, hashtag Texans to get on the show. If you want to skip the line, you can Super Chat. And reminder, every $5 Super Chat, every $5 you spend is another raffle ticket. Every 100 likes, we're giving away free raffle tickets. And so far, today's MVP, my guy, Alberto Serrato, keeping it down. Shout out to you. Thank you for this. Continue to support Alberto. You're an absolute real one. I really do appreciate you, man. Let's see. Draven says this. Hashtag Texans. Hall would just get lit up in the backfield. O-line is needed badly, but Caserio is not doing shit. I mean, you're not wrong. Caserio is not known for being a guy who makes in-season trades. And like I said, during the, there was an event during the offseason where season ticket holders and I think it was like the State of the Texans or something. Like that was the name of the event. Basically, Texans fans were allowed to ask Nick Caserio, D'Amico Ryans questions. And he laughed at Texans fans when they mentioned being concerned about the Texans' offensive line. He laughed in our faces, being like, you have no idea what you're talking about, mister. Our offensive line is just fine. No, it's not. No, it's not. That lends me to believe that I agree with you that I don't think Caserio is doing shit on the offensive line, man. And one player that does need to be replaced, that has played very up and down, and I think maybe had his worst game up against the Denver Broncos, center Jake Andrews. But as I mentioned before on the live show, he's in the buddy-buddy system. You know, he was a former New England Patriot. He's friends with Cole Popovich, who is friends with Nick Caserio, who's friends with Nick Caley. So it's the Nick Caserio party in Houston. If you're friends with Nick Caserio or if you're a former New England Patriot like Trent Brown, you're good to go for the Houston Texans, which is absolutely freaking infuriating. Another question coming in from Ryder Carter. What do you think about trying to get Kirk Cousins? No way. No. I don't want it. I don't want it. What? I don't see. This doesn't make you any better. His contract's horrible. I get that you just want to try to make this team better. Just this ain't it, man. This ain't it. If you thought C.J. Stroud was bad behind this Texans offensive line, wait till you see Kirk Cousins running for his life. He also said, or Alvin Kamara. Yeah. Maybe Alvin Kamara, but I don't know his contract details, what it would be to trade for him. I mean, the thing is with Alvin Kamara, though, I think you need a guy who can run in between tackles. I guess Alvin Kamara could kind of do that. I don't even know, man. I don't know what the Saints would want for Alvin Kamara, and at this point, I think if you're not trading for Breece Hall, what are you doing? Why going for Alvin Kamara with his contract? And who knows what the status of Joe Mixon is, right? Trade Nick Caley for Jamar Chase, deal. You have a deal there. Trade Nick Chubb for Breece Hall. I mean, like I said, if the Jets are trading Breece Hall, I don't think they want a running back in return. I don't think. Oh, yeah. They won't want a running back in return. Hashtag Texans, with the Jets trading everyone other than Hall, do you think we get Fashanu? Not Olu Fashanu. He's a first-round pick, and part of that offensive line. I think you'd have to give up a first-round pick if you want Olu Fashanu. Jermaine Johnson, the Texans don't need another edge rusher. They have good edge rushers already in Will Anderson Jr., who you're going to have to pay this offseason, and Will Anderson Jr. So, let's see. Hashtag Texans, Jake Matthews, left tackle in the offseason. I actually like Ursery at left tackle. I like Ursery at left tackle. Grade him so far, because obviously he's a rookie. A, B, C, D, or F. How do you think Ariante Ursery has done so far for the Texans at left tackle? I know a lot of people, they have been skeptical, especially with the move, getting rid of Laramie Tunsil and then selecting Ariante Ursery in the second round. I think all things considered, I'd give him a B. I'd give him a B. I think he's been decent for this team. I see C+ from David, C+ from Condition, B from Life with Jaden. James says C. Ollie's Mega Gaming says B. Yo, we just traded for Laramie Tunsil. No way. B from Draven. B from Bree1. Sid says C. Bionic says C. B from Senior Larry. Let me know A, B, C, D, or F. Grade Ariante Ursery this season for the Houston Texans. Our starting left tackle, our rookie left tackle. I think it's a solid B. He's decent. Ariante Ursery is nice, very young. Has a lot of. I agree. He has a lot of potential. What will be the next domino to drop? We didn't know it was going to be this exciting of a trade deadline, but here we are. Oh, I think I got a couple more. Oh, let's go. Christopher Ming. Christopher Ming getting his free raffle ticket. Are you in the chat right now, Christopher? I see you on X sending me that picture. And then I see Jay Will. Jay Will's getting his free raffle ticket as well. Thank you guys both for your service. I really do. From the bottom of my heart, I know this free raffle ticket isn't nearly enough for what you've done, but, you know, Jay Will, Christopher Ming, I appreciate both y'all. They sent me pictures of them serving in our armed forces, so thank you so much, Christopher. I appreciate you. Like I said, this is literally the absolute least I could do for what you've done for our country, so I really do appreciate y'all for what y'all have done. Hashtag Texans, I think Casario forgot to set his alarm clock. Maybe. Let's see some other questions that we have rolling in. Let's see. DG. Texans aren't trading for anyone this season. Is lost. Safe picks for a new GM in the offseason. This is one way to view it. DG, this is one way to view it. Do you agree with DG? Give me a yes or give me a no in the comments. Do you think the Texans should just pack it in this season and not trade any of their draft capital? Yes or no? Do you agree with DG here that the Texans should not make a trade? They should keep their draft capital and just go on into the offseason. I mean, you're not alone in this, DG. A lot of people view the team in this light. A lot of people are saying, why, waste money? Why waste draft capital? I see a lot of people saying yeses with you, DG. A lot of people agreeing saying yeses. Oh, my God. Will Breece Hall get traded? That is a major question. McDapple as well. McDapple, are you with us? Thank you for your service, McDapple. A little bit stagnant. We had some some traction, some trades. Past 20 minutes has been a little slowed down a little bit since we had all those crazy trades. Fire Ring, that's a great question. Is a third-round pick worth it for Breece Hall? CJ87 with the super chat. We'll get you up on screen. And Mason, a couple other people saying Jake Matthews from the Atlanta Falcons. Let me see. I think he's only played left tackle. Let me look. Jake Matthews, His dad played with the Houston Oilers. The thing is, you're already kind of set at your tackle spots, right? And he's only played left tackle in his career. Yeah, the Texans won't trade for Jake Matthews. They need interior. They don't need tackles. They need guards and a center. But I see y'all's thought process. Gammy Poo, I'd trade Caserio for a meal from Waterburger. Dude, I haven't had lunch yet. That actually sounds gas. Let me know in the chat, what's your go-to order from Waterburger? Give me a patty melt with onion rings. Blue Powerade, no ice. No ice. Patty melt, onion rings, blue Powerade. I'm actually starving right now. 52 minutes. We got 52 minutes until the NFL trade deadline is done. A number 1 from Senior Larry. A number 2, no cheese, grilled onions from James. Major pain, I can't get Waterburger in Illinois. Sad. Marcus, chicken taco. You're actually one of the first people I've ever seen say that the taco is your go-to order at Waterburger. Shaggy says number 2 with cheese and ketchup and a Dr. Pepper. The gravy slaps. My wife's go-to order, the chicken strip meal with the white gravy, and she usually gets a Dr. Pepper or a Coke. No, not Dr. Pepper. She usually just gets Coke. Dude, the sweet and spicy bacon burger. Actually gas. Xavier, I'll take a foot-long shaboing fully loaded. Just had Waterburger from Christopher Huerta. What did you get? Number 3 with cheese. Honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich. I would trade Caserio for a patty melt right now. Breaking news. The Texans re-sign Dare Gumbawale to a 10-year contract. Buffalo chicken sandwich with a Dr. Pepper. I need the Texans to make a move. Do something, man. Do something. All right, this is what we're going to do really quick. We're going to go through all the trades that have happened over the last 48 hours just to keep y'all updated with everything going around the NFL, everything happening with the trade deadline. Let's just go through all the trades that have happened so far. All right, first up, Eagles, they made multiple moves. They got Jaire Alexander for the Baltimore Ravens for a late-round pick swap. 6 for a 7th. Eagles, Howie Roseman. Take some notes, Nick Caserio, because Howie Roseman is the most aggressive GM in the NFL. Howie Roseman is who Nick Caserio thinks he is, because he is wheeling and dealing. The Eagles, they also traded for another cornerback. Look who it was. John Metchie. John Metchie in this deal for the Eagles, getting another cornerback. And then they didn't stop there. They also went ahead and got edge rusher Jaelan Phillips from the Miami Dolphins. The Eagles making 3 separate moves to add to that defense before the NFL trade deadline. The Titans go ahead and send Dre'mont Jones, edge rusher, to the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens, they traded away Odafe Oweh, so they needed to replace that production at the edge spot. They did that by going ahead and getting Dre'mont Jones. Early this morning, about 6 a.m. Central Time, the Cowboys made a trade for Logan Wilson, linebacker from the Cincinnati Bengals. A disappointing loss for the Dallas Cowboys last night against the Arizona Cardinals in Monday Night Football, where half the country wasn't able to watch because YouTube TV and ESPN absolutely suck. But the Cowboys, horrible game yesterday. They went ahead and added to that defense, which has been one of the worst in the National Football League. Right after that, AFC South making moves, guys. AFC South making moves. The Jags, they get Jacoby Myers in exchange for a 4th and a 6th round pick in the 2026 draft. This is going to be a big what if. I think if he plays this weekend up against the Texans, that could change a lot of things that the Texans are looking at, because what was the one problem that the Jags have had this season? It's drops at the wide receiver spot. That's maybe one of the biggest, problems that this offense has faced, this Jags team as a whole has faced. And they get one of the most sure-handed receivers in the NFL. Jakobi Meyers last season had 0 drops for the Las Vegas Raiders. So I think adding him to this receiving room, you have Brian Thomas Jr., who he's been a part of the problem with those drops. But Jakobi Meyers, I think that helps out this Jags team a lot, having a more sure-handed guy in the receiving room. And the AFC South was not done there. The Colts trading for Sauce Gardner, the biggest trade of the day, in my opinion. The Jets lockdown corner heading to the AFC South, heading to Indianapolis, where he was traded for a 2026 and a 2027 first-round pick and former first-round pick A.D. Mitchell. So the Jets showing they're going all in this season. They are trying to make the Super Bowl with Daniel Jones at quarterback. If I told you that before this season started, you'd probably call me crazy. But maybe one of the biggest trades of the day was this one right here with the Indianapolis Colts. Right after that, the Seahawks trading for Rashid Shaheed. And all I got to say is I'm glad that this happened after the Texans played the Seahawks, because you add Shaheed to this offense, who is a down-the-field threat, one of the fastest players in the National Football League. Him and JSN on that offense with Clint Kubiak, who should be the Texans OC right now. I don't know why the Texans weren't interested in Clint Kubiak. That offense is going to be electric. Sam Darnold, you have JSN on one side, Jackson Smith and Jigba on the other. They have a couple decent tight ends in Elijah Arroyo. They also have, I believe Barner is another one of their good tight ends. This deal might be a sneaky one that we look back at and say, this is what pushed the Seahawks over the edge. A kind of low-end deal here for the Chicago Bears, getting one of the Browns' edge rushers, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, edge rusher, for a late-round pick swap. So the Bears getting an edge rusher. I thought the Texans might be able to get something done with the Bears because they need D-line help, and the Texans, they have excess in defensive linemen. And then the second biggest trade that happened today, also involving the New York Football Jets. The Cowboys getting Quinnen Williams, defensive tackle from the New York Jets, in exchange for Mozzie Smith and a first and second round pick. I think the Cowboys won today, man. I really like this trade from the Cowboys. I think Quinnen Williams, one of the best young. Just Seahawks make it official. I think the Cowboys get one of the best young defensive tackles in the NFL. They pair him with Kenny Clark, and DT has been the biggest issue for Dallas over the past 5, maybe 6 years. Now that is fixed. You have Quinnen Williams. You have Kenny Clark, who you got in that Micah Parsons trade. And they're showing last 10 years, non-quarterback to be traded for two first-round picks. Sauce Gardner, Micah Parsons, Jamal Adams, LOL, Jalen Ramsey, Laramie Tunsil, and Khalil Mack. The last 10 years, those are the 6 players to be traded for 2 first-round picks that didn't play the quarterback position. And, as I mentioned, we do have a couple super chats to get through really quick. Hold up. This one coming in from Colby Sims, which that is a raffle ticket for the J.J. Watt autographed picture for this month. What about the DT Sweat from the Titans? University of Texans, that big body would command 2 offensive linemen, which would free up 51 and 55 more. I like this. I think he would be a good player. The problem is Texans have too many defensive linemen already. Like, you have Sheldon Rankins, Mario Edwards Jr., you have Foley Futakasi once he comes back. You also extended Tommy Togai already, Tim Settle. I like what you're thinking, but the only problem is this is the least of the Texans' concerns right now, Colby. The Texans, they need an offensive lineman. They need help on offense. I mean, they basically shut out the Broncos. The defense is playing lights out. I don't think you need to add to the defensive side. You need guys on the offensive side of the football for this Houston Texans team. Jeremy Garza, how you get in the raffle? $5 super chat. Anybody who sends in a $5 super chat, like Colby Sims and like CJ87, That's how you get a raffle ticket. CJ Stroud, $65 million a year. Will Anderson, $50 million a year. Plausible or no? Will Anderson Jr., I think, will get that high up number. I believe I have the highest paid edge rushers in the NFL. I think he's going to want the Aiden Hutchinson deal, at least, if I'm Will Anderson Jr. and his representatives. If I'm Will Anderson Jr., I'm looking at the Aiden Hutchinson deal, and I do have the highest paid edge rushers in the NFL. Just one moment. Here we go. If I'm Will Anderson Jr., I'm looking at the Aiden Hutchinson deal, and I'm saying I want 45 a year. If I'm Will Anderson, I want 45, maybe 46 a year, and I think that is 100% plausible, CJ87. That's the mark you're looking at. He's not taking anything less than Aiden Hutchinson's 45. Maybe you go 46, kind of go in between those two guys, but that is what Will Anderson Jr., you're going to have to pay him if you want to keep him around in Houston. And CJ Stroud at $65 million a year, and let me go back to my highest paid graphics. 65, I mean, and see, that's the problem. If you extend CJ Stroud this offseason, coming off a somewhat down year, an up and down year, I think you could get him for that $55 million a year. I think you could tie him with Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, those guys. He's not taking anything less than Brock Purdy, Tua Tagovailoa. I'll tell you that right now. CJ Stroud's taking nothing less than that, and I think he wants the same amount as a Trevor Lawrence. So, this offseason, you'd be able to get him at that $55 million a year mark. But the problem is, CJ87, if you don't extend him this offseason, if you wait and he balls out next year, he's getting past that 60 a year. He's getting to $65 million a year. So, it's the, do you wait and see what you have and risk having to pay CJ even more money? Or do you maybe get somewhat of it? I know I'm saying $55 million a year bargain, but do you maybe try to get that $55 million a year mark and have him tied with a Joe Burrow, a Josh Allen, maybe have him at the 56, 57 year mark? We'll see. We'll see. Jeremy Garza, you are in for our raffle. $5 super chat from Jeremy Garza. Appreciate the donation there. You are in for our month-long raffle for the J.J. Watt autograph. Let's see. I'm just getting a notification. Did anything happen? Nothing yet. Nothing else happening. Breece Hall. Has since did he delete his tweet? He deleted his tweet where he had the 3 dots. What does it mean? What does it mean? This coming in from Roy Boy. They will trade rookies for a 10-year vet at this point. I don't know. They will trade rookies for a 10-year vet at this point. I don't think they would. 40 minutes till the NFL trade deadline. And sadly, doesn't look like the Texans are going to make a move. Damn. Sadly, it does not look like the Texans are going to make a move. Hopefully, we're going to hold out hope until the clock strikes midnight. We'll see. Breece Hall has not been traded yet. We'll see what happens with that if the Texans decide to go ahead and make that move. Quickly, though, let me tell you about our friends over at Prize Picks today. Download the Prize Picks app and use that code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks is the sponsor of today's show, and the hard-hitting football action is even better with Prize Picks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right, that never gets old. Prize Picks is super simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. To get your picks right, you can cash in and win up to, 2,000 times your money today. It is a great, great deal with Prize Picks. And I actually had one of our hoop heads here at Chat Sports give me a college basketball lineup for tonight. He's going with this Purdue game. Braden Smith, more than 6.5 assists. Also, Trey Kaufman-Renn, more than 27.5 points and rebounds combined. And you're reading that right. Cameron Boozer, the son of Carlos Boozer, making his, huge debut for the Duke Blue Devils tonight up against the Texas Longhorns in maybe the best game of the evening. Our guy Roloff is going 30 points and rebounds. He's going the more on that. So you can use our lineup or you can make your own. Just do it with our friends over at Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Shout out to them for being the sponsor of today's program. And if you're wondering, is it worth the Texans making a move? Well, let's take a look at the AFC playoff picture because the Texans right now, they sit at 3-5. They do have the tiebreaker up against the Ravens, but a lot of ground needing to be made. You do play the Jags, you play the Chargers, you play the Chiefs, you play the Bills. So all the teams that are ahead of you, you play those teams, and then you also play the Colts twice before the season is all said and done. Obviously, the Colts feel like they are in win-now mode, are able to possibly make a Super Bowl run based on where they're at right now in the AFC playoff picture. We'll have to see if the Texans make a move as we are 36 minutes away. 36 minutes away from the NFL trade deadline. Anderson's Fontura, hashtag Texans. Reminder, you can hashtag Texans or Super Chat to get on the show. Helton Barahona with the Super Chat. You're getting in on our raffle as well. Reminder, this is a month-long raffle, so at the end of this month, we will do a drawing for the J.J. Watt autograph picture. So every $5 you spend is another raffle ticket for that bad boy. Who's really to blame here? Caserio, Caley, or Ryans? Caserio for trades, Caley for offensive play calling, or Miko for just being the head coach? Let me know in the chat. Type 1 for Caserio, 2 for Caley, or 3 for Ryans. Who is the most to blame for the Texans' struggles this year? Type 1 for Caserio, 2 for Caley, 3 for D'Amico Ryans. Let me know down in the chat. I don't think you can blame. If you're typing your 2s, I think you're typing your 1s basically, because I don't care what D'Amico says. I don't care what D'Amico says. Caley was brought in by Nick Caserio. 4 for Cal McNair from Major Payne. 1, 2, 3 in that order from Brandon. I agree. I think y'all might call me crazy. I still think D'Amico Ryans is a good coach. But Nick Caserio, man. Nick Caserio. Smartest dude in the room if you didn't know. Smartest dude in the room if you didn't know. Alberto Serrato with another Super Chat on today's program. Getting a couple more raffle tickets in, my good man. We are also 27 likes away from giving away some more free raffle tickets, so you know the drill. Like the video. Spam those H's if you want a free raffle ticket on today's show. Yeah, I would go Caserio the most to blame out of everybody this offseason. Jeremy Garza getting a raffle ticket in. Shout out to Jeremy Garza. Same with Helton Barahona getting in for a raffle ticket. Reminder, every $5 Super Chat on today's show, you get in for a chance to win our month-long raffle for the month of November. Shout out to all of our military members out there. Salute to service raffle. J.J. Watt, autograph picture. This one, him holding the American flag. He's wearing his salute to service jersey as well. If you are a serviceman or women out there, Reminder, you get a free ticket for this month's raffle. All you got to do, DM me a picture of you in your military uniform or something that shows me that you served. If you do that, you'll be getting a free raffle ticket for this raffle. I already had a couple of people send in some cool pictures. McDapple, Jay Will, Christopher Ming, Condition Base, all sending in those pictures. So if you served in the military, I want to appreciate you, and it is literally the least I could do for y'all making the ultimate sacrifice. If you want a free raffle ticket this month, make sure send me a picture at Jeremy Chugs on X of you in your military uniform for a chance to win this J.J. Watt autograph poster. Any super chat gets you up on screen, obviously, and every $5 is a raffle ticket for that J.J. Watt poster. All right. Another super chat coming in from Alberto Serrato. He says, Chugs, have you given up on the Texans this year if they don't make any moves today? No. I'm not giving up on the Texans just yet. Just because one thing I will say, and the silver lining from that game, is the Texans didn't give up. We've seen teams lay down. We've seen teams that are upset who aren't playing well and who are like, oh, we're going to pack it in. Correct me if I'm wrong. As bad as the offense was up against the Broncos and how frustrating it was, did you see any quit in that defense? Spam those H's if you saw no quit in that Texans defense, because that is one silver lining that made me so proud to be a Texans fan, is that this team rallied around D'Amico. This defense rallied around D'Amico Ryans, this squad, and they had no give up. They had none whatsoever. And that at least gives me a silver lining of hope. At least a silver lining of hope that things could turn around. Is that they didn't give up. We've seen guys, plenty of them, that have given up on their team, given up on the season, and I don't see that at all from this Houston Texans squad. So I at least have a little bit of hope. And the other part of it is this. Do you know how many teams have made the playoffs since the year 2000 after starting 0-3? A little trivia for you. Do you know how many teams have made the playoffs since the year 2000 that have started 0-3? I'll give you a second. Do you know? It's one. Do you know what team that was? It was your Houston Texans in 2018. Christopher Carlson gets it. There's been one team that has made the playoffs after starting 0-3, and it was your Houston Texans. So I don't want to hear this, oh, man, we're not playing good. It's over, man. It's over. Respectfully, I don't have the quit attitude. I'm not one to be, man, things aren't looking good, I'm just going to quit. That's not me. If you feel that way, that is your prerogative. That is up to you and how you fan. Everybody fans differently. Me personally, not a quitter. That's what I'll say. I'm not a quitter. So I'm not going to quit on this team until it's out. I'm not going to quit on the Texans until it's all said and done. Because they showed me out there this past week that they're not quitting on me. This defense didn't quit. Why would I quit? Why would I quit on this team? If you quit as soon as things get tough, if you quit as things get hard, that's not a winner. That's not going to get you anywhere. And, Texans tags, you can feel that way, man. I'm not going to tell you how to fan. I'm not going to tell you how to fan, but I will say this, man. Nobody thought the Texans would make the playoffs in 2018. Nobody thought that team was good in 2018 after those first 3 losses. And if you're telling yourself otherwise, you're lying to yourself. Because nobody thought the Texans team was good in 2018, coming off a year where they had the number 2 pick with a rookie coach and a rookie quarterback. Nobody thought they were going to be good. Nobody, even after stacking a couple wins that season, nobody was like, oh yeah, the Texans, they're a dangerous team to watch out for. So I'm not going to quit on this team. I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't do. Obviously, it's up to you. You can fan how you want to do it. But I'm not going to quit. I'm not a quitter. That's not me. All right. We are close to that 300 likes. So what I need everybody to do, go down there, like the video, and spam those H's. Nick, that's corny, bro. Dude, that's me, bro. Sorry. You want to be a quitter, Nick? Go ahead. I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't do. You can quit in life all you want to, Nick. Go ahead. I'm not stopping you. You're on my stream with your own free will. So, if you want to be a quitter, you're all good, bro. You can be a quitter. All right. We are 2 likes away from 300. Once we get there, I'm giving away some free raffle tickets. All you got to do, like the video and spam H. I'm going to give one to Zach Rose. Who else is getting a free raffle ticket? Shaggy51. Mr. Lava Lava. Ooh, Mr. Lava Lava. Oh, I think I got another picture from a service member. Goat XED. Goat XED. Shout out to you, my good sir. Getting that free raffle ticket. Thank you for your service. Let's see. Amanda Pearl. You're getting a free raffle ticket. Let's go with Big H. I'm going to give one more away. One more raffle ticket away. Who is going to get it? Let's go with... I'll go with Matt Wong. Matt Wong. Dude, Nick, I'm not going to argue with you, but if you want to be a quitter, you can quit, bro. No, it doesn't affect me at all. I'm not going to tell you how to fan. I'm not going to tell you that you have to have faith. I'm not going to tell you what you have to think about the Houston Texans. There's a lot of people that are done with the Houston Texans that think the season's over. That's fine. My brother's one of them. My brother texted me, season's done. That's all good. I'm not going to tell you how to fan, but I'm going to be myself. If that's corny to you, I honestly don't give a fuck. So do what you want, bro. Do what you want. I'm not going to tell you how to fan. I'm going to be me. I'm going to have faith until I don't have any faith anymore. So that's me, man. That is me. And I'm not saying that you're a quitter, saying you're quitting on the team, which is a fact. You're quitting on this team. I don't care. Do what you want to do. I'm not going to tell you how to fan, man. Do it how you want to do it. Hector Medina, Texans should have let Slowick develop. This season feels worse than when we had Slowick. I jokingly tweeted in the Seahawks game, I'm so sorry to Bobby Slowick for ever saying anything bad. And it was partly joking, but partly, the offense does seem like it's taking a step back. The Bobby Slowick offense last year probably looks a little bit better than the offense this year. I will say one big issue that this offense has had, and one thing that I think is getting a little bit glossed over, and Texans fans, I think we have a new appreciation for Joe Mixon. Because I think that Joe Mixon last year masked so many issues for this Texans team. And, people around the Chat Sports studios, my coworkers were like, oh, yeah, Garrett, or, Joe Mixon, he's having an okay year. But if you watch the highlights from last year, if you go back and watch the tape, the amount of times that Joe Mixon made chunk plays out of nothing, where he was stopped in the backfield maybe 1 or 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, he made somebody miss, was able to get chunk yardage. I mean, Texans fans, like, we have a new appreciation for Joe Mixon because he made this offense go. Nick, what I'm not going to have you do is be a sexist pig. So I'm going to put you in timeout. I'm not going to remove you from the channel, but I'm going to put you in timeout for a minute like a child. So if you want to come back and be respectful, Nick, you can do so, but I'm not going to have you be a sexist pig. So you can do what you want. I'm just going to put you in timeout. You can go sit in the corner, Nick, for 60 seconds. But I think, we have a brand new appreciation for Joe Mixon. Like, what he was able to do for this Texans offense last year was incredible. And the amount of times that he made something out of nothing, I think, that there has to be something said about that. When will Joe Mixon come back? BT to GOAT? I wish I knew, man. I wish I knew. And maybe that's what's holding the Texans back from making a deal for Breece Hall. Maybe that's what's holding Nick Caserio back from making a move, is that Joe Mixon might come back next week. Maybe the week after that. I don't know. Mum's the word from NRG. They're not going to tell us anything. I will say this, though. I will say this. From people that I've talked to, from people that are close to the team, Joe Mixon was at the game up against the 49ers. He was in attendance not a couple of days ago, but the week before when the Texans played the 49ers, Joe Mixon was there. He was walking around NRG. He was live tweeting during the game, something he hasn't done for a majority of the season. He hasn't really been active on X, Twitter, whatever you call it. And he was walking around, no brace, no crutches, no boot. Christian says, not a good day for Knicks. Dude, Knicks are just getting it from every angle today, man. Not a good day to be a Nick. That is true. Maybe that was Nick Caserio. Maybe that was Nick Caserio. I don't know. Don't be a Nick head. That's funny. Nick at night. Dude, yeah, I mean, Mixon, like I said, Mixon was at the facility. He was with his teammates. He was live tweeting the game. He was walking around NRG. No problem. Now, I will say, like, being in game shape and being healthy are two different things. So maybe he's not ready to go in that aspect, but man, I don't know. I do have another question for you. We are 20 minutes till the NFL trade deadline, and let me know down below, will the Texans make a trade today? Will the Texans make a trade today? The absolute, just onslaught of no's ensues. Doesn't look like it. I agree with the chat. It does not look like the Texans are going to make a move today. Yeah, Lucas, I realized that I quote tweeted a tweet from Breece Hall, and looks like he's deleted it. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. I don't know, man. Chase Brown would be lit. Oh, Greg, I did not see that. Thank you so much. Sorry, I was looking at Twitter. I was looking at my tweet deck. Greg Keel, thank you for letting me know down in the chat. That is also a raffle ticket for the J.J. Watt autograph. Greg, I'm sorry about that. I was trying to read something on Twitter. Greg, so many good account teams have to fall off for Houston to have a chance at a. Yeah, the other silver lining is this: you play a lot of the teams that are ahead of you in the AFC playoff race right now. You play the Buffalo Bills, play the Chargers, play the Chiefs, play the Jags, play the Colts. You play a lot of the teams that are ahead of you right now, so winning those head-to-head matchups will help you tremendously. And I'll go back to our AFC playoff graphic that we have, the current playoff picture. Like, it's not out of the realm of possibility that the Texans scratch and claw into a wild card spot. Right? Like, you play the Bills on Thursday Night Football. You play the Chargers. You play the Jags. You play the Chiefs. You play the Colts. So, you got to win to get in the playoffs. That's obvious. Just not a lot of room for error. And as you see at the bottom of your screen, the Colts, who are currently the number 1 seed in the AFC, made a massive move today trading for Sauce Gardner, 2 first-round picks, and Adonai Mitchell. Like, it's not insanely out of the realm of possibility. It's not likely. I'm not, I'm not going to try to be a snake oil salesman here and tell you, oh, yeah, Texans could easily make the playoffs. There's not a lot of room for error. Not a lot of room for error for the Texans. But as I said, okay. I saw Schefter say something about A.J. Brown, but he's saying they will not trade A.J. Brown. Hourglass Chugs, where's your sense of hope and pride? I mean, honestly, in a loss, the fact that the Texans honestly should have won that game up against the Broncos, they outplayed the Broncos. They did. And if it wasn't for a couple of really dumb errors that were made on both sides, like the fact that the Texans didn't run out the clock with 1.5 minutes left. They had 3 passes from inside their 20-yard line when the offense wasn't doing anything. The defense was playing fantastic all game long. You should have gone into overtime, D'Amico. You should have gone into overtime and tried that. Like, there were so many dumb calls. Not calling a QB sneak at the 1-yard line whenever CJ was in there. Then calling a QB sneak with Davis Mills at the 3-yard line. Like, overall, this Texans team, they outplayed the Broncos. They did. So, that gives me more hope for this squad moving forward. That the fact that we also, you look at our losses this year, right? Let's take a look at them. Rams, first game of the season. Had a chance to win that game. Daria Gumbawale fumbled the game away. The Texans were driving. I do believe if he didn't fumble that ball, the Texans would have found their way into the end zone in that game. Week 2 up against the Buccaneers. Henry To'o makes a tackle on 4th and 10. The Texans win that game. You had Baker Mayfield wrapped up on 4th and 10 to seal the game, and To'o whiffs on the tackle. Baker Mayfield scrambles, ends up going on a game-winning drive. Week 3 up against the Jags. Nico Collins fumbles it inside the 20 when you're going up to score. The game's tied with about 3 minutes left in that ball game. Like, every game you've lost, you shot yourself in the foot. It hasn't been that the Texans were that much worse than the other team. It hasn't been that every team has come in and absolutely whooped the Texans' butt. I mean, even the Seahawks game, the Texans were in that late. Like, it was a close game. And then you look at this week up against the Broncos. You lose on a last-second field goal where you had the Broncos in clamps for 3.75 quarters of football. You had them in clamps on the defensive side. That's what gives me hope. Gunner, sorry, I didn't even read your super chat. Gunner, you also get a raffle ticket for the J.J. Watt autograph, the month-long raffle this month in the month of November. Gunner, Bobby was a season short of ruining CJ for good. That's why CJ is out there looking like Smokey in Debo's pigeon coop. Sorry, I didn't get that for a second, but yeah. But it's like, you look at the development. Year 1, CJ, good with Bobby Slowick. Year 2, definitely went downhill. Probably didn't help that the Texans offensive line played like basura. But they refuse. They refuse to add on the offensive line unless they played for the Patriots. So it's just frustrating. It is frustrating that the Texans, and that's the thing, is that we do have a lot of talent on our squad. We do. And I will ask y'all this question because a big trade that happened today did also involve the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's kind of been overshadowed by all the Jets trades that have happened today. But the Jags did go out and trade for a wide receiver, and maybe the biggest issue they've had is sure-handedness at the receiver spot. They went out and got maybe the most sure-handed receiver in the NFL in Jakobi Meyers. So let me know. Jakobi Meyers probably going to play this Sunday. I'll be live for this game 30 minutes before kickoff as usual for Texans Jags on Sunday, noon Central kickoff time. Who you got in this game? Can the Texans pull out a scrappy win? It's at home for the Houston Texans. Noon kickoff Central time. I'll be there. I'll be live 30 minutes before kickoff. I told you I'll be live for every single game this year for the Houston Texans. Who you got in this game? Texans or Jags? Reminder also, the Jags, they almost lost to the Raiders this past week. They lost in overtime. Also, we don't know if CJ is going to play. He has to pass through concussion protocol. If Mills plays, it's Jags. J if no Stroud, H if Stroud plays. Texans all day long from Wavy. Let me know down in the chat who you got this Sunday, Texans or Jags. We gotta start winning games somehow, right? You should have beat the Jags in Jacksonville too, man. That Nico Collins, what an uncharacteristic fumble by him. All right, well, we have 10 minutes to trade for Breece Hall, ladies and gentlemen. 10 minutes to trade for Breece Hall before the NFL trade deadline. We have not seen a single move since the Cowboys made that splash trade for Quinnen Williams. Will another domino fall? Or will Nick Caserio once again decide not to make any moves during the regular season? Oh. Nope, Texans post, but it's a post talking about influencers. Sick. I will say, dude, it is crazy that the Colts are going all in on Daniel Jones. It is crazy that the Colts are going all in on Daniel Jones. We still play the Colts twice this year. Who will get Breece Hall, or will he have to play the rest of the season for the New York Jets? Oh. We got 8 minutes left. Casario, do something, man. Do something. Will a move be made? Reminder, once the trade deadline passes, I'll probably end the live and make another video later on that's going to go out later on today. So, yeah, I mean, Irsay's daughter's going all in on this team this year. Reminder, though, I'll be probably signing off right after this trade deadline ends. I'll give it about 5-10 minutes, let the fax machine roll through, see if we have any last-second deals. But if you want to get a raffle ticket on today's show, $5 super chat to get in. Or if we get to 400 likes, we are 60 likes away. I'm giving away some free raffle tickets. Every $5, you are entered in for the J.J. Watt autographed raffle. What does that mean? Throughout the whole month of November, I will allow everybody to get in their raffle tickets. And at the end of the month, we will draw to see who wins this JSA certified autographed picture from J.J. Watt. It is our Salute to Service giveaway this month. So JSA certified, signed by J.J. Watt. He's wearing his Salute to Service jersey, also carrying that American flag. And a reminder, a quick thank you to everybody who has served this country. So for Salute to Service for this month, my deal is this. If you serve this country, hit me up on X at Jeremy Chugs. Just send me a picture of you in your military uniform, something that proves to me that you served in the military, served this country, and I will give you a free raffle ticket for the J.J. Watt autographed raffle at the end of this month. It is literally the least I could do for you making the ultimate sacrifice. I have family members who serve this country, and I truly do appreciate every single person who and family member that does make that sacrifice. So, like I said, it's literally the least I could do. If you could, just DM me at Jeremy Chugs, a picture of you in your military uniform, something that shows me that you did serve this country. Senior Larry, spam the USAs. Thank you to everybody who has served. This is my way of saying thank you to y'all. If you could, please send me that picture so I could get you your free raffle ticket here in the month of November. We're doing this raffle throughout the entire month of November, so if you don't have an X, you can download it. Try to hit me up at Jeremy Chugs. You don't have to do it right now. Don't worry. We're doing the raffle throughout the entire month of November, so you still have time to get in. But also, if you want to get in, also every $5 super chat does get you another raffle ticket. As we are creeping down, 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes to go. And just a random question, just to get chat talking a little bit. 5 minutes to the deadline. Do you own any Texans jerseys? Let me know down in the chat. Do you own any Texans jerseys as we patiently wait to see if Nick Casario will in fact make a move? Will the Texans do anything? Knowing Nick Casario, probably not. Okay, Steven Wagner, I see you. Steven Wagner, thank you for your service. You're getting a free raffle ticket, my good sir. Actually, let me check my DMs to make sure I don't have anybody else. Despite significant league-wide interest, the Titans are not trading defensive tackle T'Vondre Sweat. So, I know we had a question about T'Vondre Sweat earlier. Titans are not trading T'Vondre Sweat. Let's see. Whitney Merciless jersey. Okay. An Arian Foster jersey. I have a J.J. Watt jersey, Case Keenum, and Super Mario Williams. Kevin Johnson. Sorry that's the jersey you own. J.J. Watt and Watson. I got an Osweiler from Josh. Andre Johnson. Will Anderson Jr. Matt Schaub. Davis Mills. And Stroud. C.J. Nico. Tank. D-Hop. D-Hop. Watt and Tank. Jonathan Joseph. Gunner says I'm getting a merch jersey. A merch jersey is kind of wild. Roast me. I have a Brian Hoyer and Davis Mills jersey. I got a Cushing and Nico jersey. Alberto says 2 Strouds, a Mixon, and an Andre Johnson. Stroud, Dell, Johnson, and Watson. 2.5 minutes till the trade deadline. Does not look like the Texans are making a move. A red Killian Zaire jersey from Krautsky. Also, and Krautsky, you also have a CJ Stroud jersey. A shirt jersey. Don't forget about that one, Krautsky. Santos. Hit me up on X. He says, still active, go Texans, and fire Kaylee. I love that, Santos. All right. I'll do your full @ name. Oyok Santos. Shout out to you. Thank you for your service. $145. Yeah. Does not look like any more trades are going to go down today. Type L. Type L in the chat if you're mad at Caserio. Smartest guy in the room. Type those L's for Nick Caserio. Once again, the smartest guy in the room outsmarts everyone, maybe even himself. Can't believe we didn't even try. Can't believe we didn't even try to get an offensive lineman or anybody. And I think it was Pat Talks Texans. He's a good account to follow on Twitter. It is so true that this is what Caserio is going to say. Trevor Penningen to the Chargers. It's so true. Pat Talks Texans on Twitter said this. This is exactly what Caserio is going to say as we now get to the end of the trade deadline. We'll see if the fax rolls in. We had a Trevor Penning trade going with the Chargers. This is what Caserio is going to say. We tried, but didn't feel the value is right. We really like where the roster is right now. We're confident in the group we have. That is exactly what Caserio is going to say. What a bum. What a bum. How does Jerry Atrick Jones do more than us? Yeah, I mean, we could have had Trevor Penning if we wanted to. We'll see if any more trades roll in. Coming in at the buzzer, the Chargers trading for Alberto. Yeah, you probably forgot today was even the trade deadline. At the buzzer, we'll see if anything else happens, but the Chargers trading for Saints offensive lineman Trevor Penning. Come on. L's in the chat for Caserio, man. Smartest guy in the room. Nick Caserio, smartest man in the room, man. He must have an IQ of 160, man. He must have aced his SATs. Caserio, summa cum laude. Just disappointed that the Texans. There's definitely moves to be made, and Caserio didn't call. Caserio, he'd rather trade back out of the first round, trade his second-round picks for more fourth and fifth-round picks that we're going to cut. Like, I imagine Caserio out playing golf. Let me know in the chat, what do you think Caserio's doing right now? Do you think Caserio even tried? Probably playing golf. Probably out fishing. Luis Lopez, he's sitting back, not doing a damn thing. All right, well, that's going to end our trade deadline coverage here on Texans Today, unless we have a last-second move, but I don't foresee that happening. I'll be bringing you a video later on today. Or how about this? We are $50 away from 200. I was gonna make a video here in just a second, but I'll make you the deal before I head out. If y'all want me to do my show live, if y'all want me to do what I was gonna put out later right now on the channel, if we get $50 in super chats collectively over the next 5 to 10 minutes, I'll be able to stay live, and I'll go ahead and do my segment live. If not, I'll go ahead, I'll sign off, I'll go get a quick bite to eat, and then I will do my show that's gonna go out later on. But we are $50 away from 200. If we get there, I'll do my show live that I'm going to put out later on. If not, I'll just get off live, and then I'll put it out later on today. You're still getting the video regardless later on today. Big H, I think he's drinking beer with the owner. Doing what he is told. Let's see. Texas tags. Sending in a 5. That's another raffle ticket for the J.J. Watt autograph raffle. Thank God for the Rockets. Yeah. All right. Yep. Coming in from Jordan Schultz. The Jets are not trading Breece Hall, who wanted out. Apparently the offers weren't good enough for them. All right, Alberto Serrato. Everybody spam Alberto for me down in the chat. Everybody go down and spam those Albertos down in the chat. Freaking legend, man. I mean, I feel bad for Breece Hall. Who just said that? Yeah, Kurt. So a season you've committed to throwing away, having him walk is better? At least Alberto did 10 times as much today than Nick Caserio did. Shout out to Texas Tags. And then Alberto says, do it now. 10 more raffle tickets for my man Alberto. Gunner says, getting my Alberto Serrato jersey now. Low-key, a Serrato Texans jersey would hit. Mark Sanchez probably buying a new vest. Probably. All right. We're going to go over my thoughts around the Houston Texans, my frustrations, and just do a quick 5-minute or 10-minute video cut on just being disappointed, man. I'm just disappointed in this Texans team and Nick Caserio. Fresh West getting his raffle ticket. There we go. Zach Rose, they did make a move. They extended Jake Hansen. Senior Larry, I'm burning my Caserio vest. Ridiculous. All right, well. No more moves. Breece Hall tweeting this out right now. Sick about my brothers, man. Happy for them, but man, I'm sick. I'll say this. You know what? I'll save it for my cut that I'm about to do. All right, so coming up, I have my thoughts on the trade deadline and the moves and lack thereof for your Houston Texans. Fresh West. Nick Caley equals 0. 1 yard line equals 10. Rob, who the hell is Jake Hansen? All right, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a quick sip of water, and then we're going to get with our cut about just Nick Caserio being an absolute wuss. It's just, I mean, Breece Hall is literally begging to get traded, and you can't make a move. All right, here we go. So, I'm going to get into my cut here. Talking the trade deadline, the moves and non-moves made so far. So, let me just get my stuff set up. All right. Here we go. Coming up, I'm going to do a quick 10-minute segment around the trade deadline. After that, I will be heading out. Thank you to each and every single person that did tune in to our trade deadline coverage. I'm sorry that Nick Caserio is an absolute wussy and decided not to make a move. And basically thinking the Texans are okay at this point is a little upsetting, especially on the offensive side. So I'm going to do my 10-minute cut. Then I'll hop on out of here. As I always say, the most important thing, the most valuable thing you have in this world is your time. So I think each and every single one of y'all for spending some time here on Texans Today. And I'll say this. After the cut, before I leave, I'll give one more opportunity to get some free raffle tickets on today's show. One more opportunity to give some free raffle tickets on today's show. You got to stick around till after the cut, though. So, you want some free tickets for the J.J. Watt autograph raffle? I'm going to give you an opportunity here after this segment. And for real, everybody, go down, spam those Albertos. He's the reason I'm doing this segment on the live show. Appreciate you, Alberto. You're an absolute real one. Let's get into this Texans cut, talking about how scared of a GM Nick Caserio truly is. Welcome into Texans Today, everybody. I'm your host, Jeremy Chuggs, and coming up on today's show, the post-NFL trade deadline. We're going to talk about the aftermath, what certain teams did, and what certain scared GMs didn't do. Because I think a lot of Texans fans, I had almost 600 fans in the chat, wanting the Texans to make a move. Wanting the Texans to show that, hey, we want to make something out of this season. Even though we're not having the year that we thought we would, we wanted some sort of hope. And we didn't really get that. We didn't really get that today from the Houston Texans. And, I mean, I think the fact that we didn't make a move is really upsetting. The fact that we didn't make a move is really upsetting because there was definitely some holes on this Texans team. And namely, on the offensive side of the football. And if you don't believe me, let's look at the chat. Everybody down below, let me know. What's your confidence level in the offense right now for the Houston Texans? Let me know. Be honest. What's your confidence level in the offense with the Houston Texans? Because even with C.J. Stroud, I can't say it's probably above a 6. Without C.J. Stroud, probably not above a 2. And the fact that you're still somewhat in this AFC playoff picture, the fact that you could still go out and make a move, but the Texans, they feel content with where they're at. sitting at 3-5, tied with the Baltimore Ravens in the hunt right there. But Nick Caserio, we like our guys. We're in a good spot. And you'll notice, number one in the AFC, the Indianapolis Colts. The Jags are ahead of you. They currently have the final wild card spot. And surely those teams didn't make a move, right? Surely the Jags and the Colts, they didn't make anything happen during the trade deadline, right? They, in fact, did. Let's start first with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I made a video this morning talking about this move, and more than likely we'll see Jakobi Meyers up against the Houston Texans this Sunday. I'll be live 30 minutes before game time for this Week 10 matchup. I mean, another do-or-die game for this Texans team, but the Jags addressing one of their biggest issues in Jakobi Meyers, the receiver spot, and having one of the most sure-handed guys. Jakobi Meyers had 0 drops last year. Jakobi Meyers had 0 drops last year for the Las Vegas Raiders. The Jags, maybe one of the worst teams in the NFL in terms of their receivers dropping balls. They went out and fixed that. They fixed an issue they had, and, kudos to the Jaguars for making a move. And then you have this. The biggest splash of the trade deadline, and the Texans are just looking around at all of the other teams in the AFC South making moves, and they're okay with where they're at. But the Colts went out and made maybe the biggest splash we've seen in the past 2 years at the trade deadline. They went all in. Jim Irsay's daughter said, all of my chips are in on the middle of the table. They traded for Sauce Gardner, 2 first-round picks, and A.D. Mitchell. Now, I will say this. I do think this is an overpay for Sauce Gardner. I've talked on the show multiple times how I think Derek Stingley is a better cornerback than Sauce Gardner. I don't think Sauce is bad, but would I have spent 2 first-round picks and a former first-round pick at wide receiver on Sauce Gardner? No, I would not have. But even as a Texans fan, you got to admire this. This took some gall. This took some guts to go out there and say, hey, we have the number 1 team in the AFC right now. We're going all in for the Super Bowl. Now, will Daniel Jones, will the clock strike midnight? Will he, will his chariot turn into a pumpkin? We'll have to see. But like I said, you at least have to tip your cap to the Indianapolis Colts that they went out and tried to make a move. They went out and tried to make something happen. Can't say the same for your Houston Texans. And it is disappointing to see both teams ahead of you in the AFC South go out and make major moves before the NFL trade deadline. And the Texans, Nick Caserio, again, the smartest guy in the room, don't do diddly squat. Now, I'm going to talk about the one move that the Texans probably should have made, and really I feel bad for one player in particular on the New York Jets. Probably should be a member of the Houston Texans if Nick Caserio was doing his job right. We'll talk about that here in just a moment. But before we do, got to give a quick shout-out to our sponsors over at Prize Picks. It is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app out there. The hard-hitting football action is even better with Prize Picks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right, that never gets old. So keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Super simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you can watch the winnings roll in. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in more than 40 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. And they put their members first. So all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Prize Picks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. And I talked with one of the basketball guys we have here at Chat Sports, one of the hoop heads, who is in on college basketball. And he gave me this lineup. He concocted this one. Shout out to Nick Roloff from our Dolphins channel. He also runs our Heat channel. This is the one he put out for college basketball action later on tonight. Purdue, he's going with Braden Smith, more than 6.5 assists, and more on the Trey Kaufman-Wren points and rebounds combined at 27.5. And you're reading that right. Cameron Boozer, son of Carlos Boozer, in a prime time matchup tonight. The Duke Blue Devils, Cameron and his brother, both Boozer brothers, playing for Duke tonight up against the University of Texas, the Longhorns. That should be a good one. You can use this lineup or make your own. Just do it with our friends over at Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup, Prize Picks, it is good to be right. And I was talking about feeling bad for a Jets player, and it's because absolute fire sale by the New York Jets. It started a couple days ago. Not really, this wouldn't put them in fire sale territory, right? They trade cornerback Michael Carter II for John Metchie. Shout out to John Metchie. The Eagles flipping that player in a trade. And then, I already showed you this one, but they trade their best cover corner in Sauce Gardner for 2 first-round picks. A.D. Mitchell, if that's not telling you that you're in a rebuild season, they've kicked the can. They said, we are done with the 2025 season. The New York Jets, we're out of it. This will tell you that. But they didn't stop there. They traded their best defensive lineman in Quinnen Williams to the Dallas Cowboys in exchange for a second, a first-round pick, and first-round bust from the Cowboys, Mozzie Smith. And, you're looking at the Jets, you're like, okay, well, the Jets are willing to make some moves, right? The Jets, they want to make something happen. They want to make some deadline deals. That's what you'd think. And it was right there for you. Could have traded for Breece Hall. He even tweeted right after the deadline, happy for all my brothers, but man, this sucks. And I feel bad for you, Breece. I mean, imagine being on a team. Imagine playing for a team knowing you're going to lose. You go out on Sunday literally knowing we don't have a shot. Sucks. And he's one of the most talented young running backs in the NFL. And me, 600 Texans fans live in my live chat, we're all hoping, we're all saying, he's right there. Go get him. Go get him, Nick. You have a shot. Of course, you didn't do that. And I will say, go ahead. And I will say, this is one thing that will save Nick Caserio if this happens. We better see Joe Mixon out there in the next 2 to 3 weeks. If we don't see Joe Mixon out on the field, shame on you, Nick Caserio. Shame on you, Nick Caserio. If we don't see Joe Mixon out there because we need running back help. Hell, we probably needed offensive line help too. Didn't call about that. Trevor Penning got traded to the Chargers right before the NFL trade deadline ended. Caserio didn't decide to make a move. And when you have a defense like the Houston Texans have, who put the clamps on the Denver Broncos for almost 4 quarters, when you have a defense that is playing as lights out as this Texans defense is, allowing by far the fewest points per game in the regular season this year, it's upsetting, man. It's upsetting. And like I said, unless we see Joe Mixon out there coming soon, unless we see number 28 coming to save us, or maybe we figure out the left guard spot with Juice Scruggs and Laken Tomlinson, for the love of God, can we stop just cycling those guys in and out? It's big L for Nick Caserio. And, maybe we set our expectations too high for this Texans team. Rookie quarterback, rookie head coach, they made the playoffs. They made the playoffs again the following year, and they won a playoff game in each of those years as well. Maybe we've set the bar too high for this team, but I, for one, am really disappointed in how this front office has gone about it. Before the season started, there was an event with the Houston Texans season ticket holders. I believe it was called the State of the Texans. And Caserio laughed in our faces when we said the offensive line was still a problem. Me, you, every single sane Texans fan out there who was like, I don't see it. I don't see how the offensive line is really coming together. He laughed in your faces. And he said, we don't have a problem. Well, Houston, we have a problem. His name might be Nick Caserio. That's all I have for you on today's show, folks. Make sure you tune in. Texans versus Jags Sunday, noon kickoff. I will be live 30 minutes before then. Make sure you hit that notification bell and turn on your subscription to Texans Today, the #1 Texans channel here on YouTube, for good reason, because we have the #1 fan base here on YouTube, and we got the best community of Texans fans out there. So what's stopping you? You made it to the end of today's video. Hit that subscribe button and make sure you stay tuned for the latest Texans news and rumors. All right. That's the end of the cut. So this is what I'm going to do for y'all. I said if you made it to the very end of today's video, I would give you an opportunity to win another raffle ticket. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to tweet something out. All I need you to do is like and retweet it. The first 20 people to like and retweet it, I'll go ahead and give a raffle ticket to. Let me put out the tweet real quick. All right, I'm tweeting something out right now. I'm going to put the link in the chat, and the first 20 people who like, the first 20 people to like and retweet it, I'm going to go ahead and give a free raffle ticket. If I could just finish my tweet. And let me know if you agree or disagree with my statement that I'm putting in this tweet right now. You can follow me on Twitter at Jeremy Chugs. The tweet that I just put out is this. If Texans fans don't see Joe Mixon for the rest of the season, Nick Caserio has failed this team, city, and fan base. Breece Hall should be a Texan today. And if we don't see Joe Mixon, the fact that we didn't get Breece Hall, travesty. We should see Joe Mixon by the end of this season. If not, shame on you, Nick Caserio. Shame on you for leading Texans fans astray. And I already see we're getting our first people in. 1TZ Cosmo is getting his raffle ticket. One TZ Cosmo. I'm also giving one to Andre Wesley. Marty 713. Stan Hood. Don B. And what is it? Ali or Go Leoza. Go Leoza. I see some more people rolling in. I'm also going to give one to let's see. Mingo Richard. And who else? Don B, I got you. Marty, Andre. And Compian_Texan. Not quite 20, but I'll continue to rack those up as we go on. All right, that's all I have for you on this upsetting. Oh, Tay. Sorry, Tay, I did not read your super chat, or I don't know if I got your Fresh West. I did. Tay, super chat. I expect nothing, and I'm still let down. Sorry, guys. That's all I have for you on today's live show, folks. I appreciate everybody for rock and rolling with me on today's show. We do have a Colts fan in the chat, so this is our Colts. This is our team. That guy, he bleeds blue, apparently. We'll see. I still think the Bills and the Chiefs are the teams to beat in the AFC, so we'll have to see. From me, from the Chat Sports Studios, I appreciate every single person that rocked and rolled with us here on Texans Today. Thank you so much to Alberto Serrato, Bree1, Senior Larry, everybody rocking and rolling in the chat. Reminder, I'll be live tomorrow, and I will be live for this Sunday's game, Texans versus Jags. So don't miss out. Be there, be square. And everybody, sorry that today didn't go our way, but still rocking and rolling with the Houston Texans all season long.